What's going on, everybody? I go by the name of It's Marvy Marv, and you are now tuned in to another Gem Talk, where we have conversations that inspire greatness. And as always, you already know Marvy running like a couple minutes behind, and we did it again. We're consistently consistent. You know what I'm saying? We're a few minutes behind, but we're live, and we're joined with one of the goats of our industry, man. It's my guy Chris Basio. Basio, what's up,
Appreciate
bro?
it, man.
Welcome to the Gem Talk.
What's up, man? It's been a little while since I've been on here, man. You've been crushing it, bro. My favorite podcast out there. Everybody talks about it every time you have a Gem Talk. The numbers just keep going up, man. I'm super proud of everything that you do. You already know, consider you the marketing GOAT in the industry. So you're the man.
Yeah, it means a lot, bro, coming from you, because I see all that you got going on and everything that you've, just done over the years, bro. And especially everything you've been working and building since the last time we spoke. So when the man Basio calls me the marketing GOAT, that means a little something. As opposed to just some random, Joe _ the barber that likes to take shots. There's no Joe specifically. This is just a name. Joe _ user 22274. That likes to take shots in the comment section, showing love. It's always good when it comes from Basio. So, man, I was looking, bro, and it said the last time we spoke was over a year ago, bro. And
whoa, I know it was that long ago. Damn.
Yeah, it said a year, so it's either
Flies.
close to a year or over a year. And you've been doing a lot of different things. So I'm hoping in this conversation we can cover a lot of that when it comes to the mentorship and everything you're doing. I just want to double check with you guys in the chat. Let me know, is everything good? Is the audio good on my end? Is the audio good on Basio's end? How's the video look? Because Basio was telling me it was choppy, a little bit choppy. So just send me a thumbs up if everything's good, and we'll get into it. I just want to make sure. All right, cool. So yeah, man, let's there we go. Good. There's Nate. I see a bunch of the family in here, right?
Yeah, of course.
Tyler.
Of course.
Who else you recognize?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys in here. You got Nick in here, you got Crochet in here, you got a lot of people in the mentorship in here. And then a bunch of coaches, man, a bunch of coaches in here too.
So let's talk about that a little bit, the mentorship, bro. Because last time when we hopped on the conversation, I feel like you were still in the earlier stages of it. I mean, you had been doing it for a little bit, but you're doing it a little different now, I believe, right? Like you recently have changed things. What led to that?
Yeah, I think it was just it's the pursuit of improving, of getting better, getting higher success rates, and just growing what we're doing. I love the fruits of what occurred in the first version of the mentorship, but I wanted to bring it to the next level. And we've always been like trying to improve it here and there. But it was just 3 years in the making. We just been, I would say that the first one was kind of 1.0, it was kind of beta, and we were, just improving on it over the years, and now we're here. So
yeah, I love it, man. For those of you who aren't aware, it's always surprising how many people aren't aware, but I'm in the school mentorship too. So it's always funny. People are like, "Yo, Marv's in here," and it's like, "Yeah, bro, I seen my man Basio's doing the monthly subscription." I'm like, "Yeah, I gotta hop up in there and see what's going on." So it's cool to be a part of that, man. And like I was telling you, bro, I just feel like it's one of those things where we just got to continue doing our best to give this information to the industry. Me just going through it a little bit that I've went through it. There's just a lot of gems in there.
Yeah, it's a lot of information. It's what we do every day, right? It's not something that I created to put onto the platform. It's stuff that we already do. So it's, if we're on our 10th location, just signed the lease for our 10th location, and that we're going to open in downtown Tampa. And everything that we give it's almost like you're franchising the Headlines business model. And what a lot of people don't realize is that we do commission as well. Everybody thinks that we're a booth rent only shop. We're actually commission first, and then we're booth rent. For us, it's not that I say commission or booth rent is better. I just personally prefer booth rent. I would like all my guys to eventually get there because it's got a lot of pros that I like. You know what I mean? So all the stuff that we already do, people ask me all the time, how come you don't franchise Headlines? How come you don't franchise Headlines? Guys, we give all the information in the mentorship because I don't want to franchise. I don't want to deal with all that regulation and all that work. I just want to I just want to continue to help the industry grow, man. I just love the stories that come out of it, you know?
Yeah, no, you're doing some awesome stuff, and it's always cool seeing so many positive results coming out of the mentorship. I love that you share that. I love you that you share the wins, and it's cool seeing the culture that you're developing. It's dope, man. And it's always interesting
Thanks,
to me
bro.
when you have people that will see it and they're like, oh, this is just another one of them influencer barber scams and just another one of them courses. I like one dude
Yeah.
commented and he was like, you know, I'd like to hear why your course is going to work in comparison to others. And I don't know if you've seen I replied to him, but I'm like, bro, if you have been following Basio over these years and you see everything that he's done in the industry and you see all of the positive results coming out of it, like if you still are thinking that this thing is a scam or potentially could be a scam, you know, maybe it just really isn't for you. You're just not there yet, you know?
Yeah, I had a guy who commented under your post, and I responded, but I deleted it because it wasn't worth the time.
Yeah.
He said that like that the majority of my income comes from the mentorship. Like, bro,
Yeah.
just come on, just stop.
Yeah, it doesn't come from the 10 locations or the
Yeah, no,
products or, you know, all the
no,
other stuff.
no,
It's
no.
only
We
from the program.
we have an accounting firm with over 300 clients, and
Yeah.
like I mean, but you know,
Yeah.
what am I going to do with the information? I could keep it to myself and do the franchise model, but I think this helps a lot more people, and it's so fun. Like the people in my students will tell you, bro, I do not sleep, bro. I'm having such a good time with this. I'm having so much fun every day. I'm adding stuff, I'm updating it, and I'm just it's fun to me, man. It's you get to a place in your life, man, where it's not about building business, it's not about you anymore. It's not about what's the next profitable business you can run. For me, it's more so like I'm just having fun being there, coaching, mentoring people, and seeing them win and seeing them grow. And dude, like I was at a BarberCon Phoenix, and this one of our students, Braden, when he was first in the program, he was making like $500-600 a week. This dude came up to me and he said, bro, I made $13,000 last month. Bro is 19 years old. He's 19 years old, man. Those are the stories that I hear at the shows. And you know how it is, Mark. People, I'm sure about your course, they approach you and they'll be like, bro, yo, I went from this to this. And that's the best feeling in the world, bro. Like, I give people the program for free all the time just because I know the impact that it'll give. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. And it's interesting too, because people will always say, well, why don't you just give it all away for free? And you understand that thinking, I think earlier in your evolution, but as you grow in business, you start to understand like you really do gotta, number one, pay to play. But more importantly, I think what is beneficial of making people pay for information or paying for information yourself is that, you know, I heard Myron Golden say is when you pay attention, you know, and there's just so many people that don't value free gems because they're free. Whereas if you're paying $99 a month or you're paying $2,500 or $3,000 to be a part of something, you're gonna lock in. You're gonna value it more because there's a bigger commitment to it. There's more on the line, you know. So you could you give a lot away for free as it is, you know. So I always tell people, I know it sounds like a sales pitch, but you know, when you're paying, it's really not about me or the person that you're paying. It's about creating that commitment within yourself, especially if you're somebody that doesn't like to waste money. I know that works for me. I hate feeling like I'm wasting money. So if I pay for something, I'm going to utilize it more than if I didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say a few things. So we started out the first course, the first mentorship. I'm just gonna call it 1.0. It was a high ticket. It was $2,500 to $3,500 in that range, depending on your situation.
Yeah.
We would work something out, and we would try to make it as affordable as possible for everyone. And that went really well. And what it did was it did filter out people who were ready and people who weren't. You know what I mean? And I'm not just talking about like people who are shop owners and stuff. There's shop owners who they want to charge $100 for a haircut, but they won't spend $20 on a comb or a brush or, you know, a few $100s on some shears. They're very, very cheap, but they want to attract people who aren't cheap.
Yeah.
That's a different topic though. But
yeah,
the thing about our mentorship too, guys, is the one thing that I learned from the high ticket from 1.0 is you need more than just information.
Yeah.
You need accountability. You need coaching. You need daily hand holding to walk you through. Like I can give you my systems and I can tell you step by step how to implement it, But just like with haircut tutorials, there's some people that learn better in person doing hands-on courses, right? There's some people who do better with 1 hour long videos and can't just learn from 5-10 minute haircut tutorials. And so when you really want to help someone, you have to have staff, you have to have a team, you have to have success coaches, mindset coaches, coaches who are good at ads, coaches who are good at this. Bring them in, and you got to pay them. They're not, I mean, these people at the end of the day have families just like everybody else. You're not cutting hair for free. These guys ain't going to spend 3 hours a night with you for free either. And the other thing is, man, I treat this like a business in that I just reinvest into it. So I don't know if you can see can you see my screen? Oh, it works.
Oh, let's go.
So check this out. So this is actually a software that we're putting money into. It costs money to do
this. I'm gonna
stuff,
solo you. Anytime I solo you, it's not like it's booting me. It's just I'm gonna solo you so you take up the whole screen.
Okay. So guys, like this is not free. It costs money to develop stuff like this. We use spreadsheets for the longest time, and that costs money to build out a tracking sheet because we give our students tools as well. We give them a lot of spreadsheets, scripts, templates, SOPs. That stuff costs money and it costs time. And so, yes, I can't keep, like I lost $500,000 trying to build a booking app. This is not a booking app. This is a tracking sheet. And what it allows you to do is always know your KPIs, always know your statistics. That way our coaches and myself, we can give you tangible coaching and strategy based on numbers. So you can see monthly KPIs. You can see the different KPIs that are in here. You can see, if you scroll down, you can see all-time KPIs. You can see who your top 10 clients are. And then we can start creating like nurturing events for your top 10 clients and rewarding them. Because Tito, he dropped a video today on his YouTube channel. And he talked about how when he was younger, or when he was before the mentorship, he would literally give a half-ass service to a client that didn't tip. But then when he looked at his tracking sheet and he realized that this client was one of his top 10 clients when it came to revenues, it changed, it blew his mind. It changed his whole perspective. And the clients that were tipping him the best, he realized were not even in the top 10. But he was saving his best of the best service for clients that didn't pay the bills. And I think that this gives you real perspective when you actually have the data. And then for my mentees, they don't even know about this yet. Imagine, are you familiar with Hormozy and the school games?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I'm in the top 10 right now of the school games. Imagine a school games, but for barbers. So now we can have weekly leaderboards for anyone who's using the sheet and do crazy giveaways. I'm thinking MacBooks, I'm thinking cameras, I'm thinking, one day barbershops, could be a giveaway. And if you don't want your name on there, you can hide it. But anyways, we're going to constantly reinvest into this. It's not just a course. And that, I think that's the hardest. Why am I getting so many texts? Alex, stop texting me. So I don't think people understand that this isn't just a course. It is a community that we're building. It's tools, it's templates. If you see there's people who don't have stuff like this. Let me show you. So this is our business operating our BOM, right? We call it BOM, our barbershop operations manual. A lot of barbershops don't have this. A welcome to the team. What is the company's culture and values? Who's the leadership in the team? What's the career pathway, with actual information on how you can progress within the company, from a barber on commission to a barber on booth rent to a manager to a partner to a shop owner. It's unlimited. We have no ceilings, right? And not just that, but like we have training and resources. So you can come in here, best practices videos. And you can, for example, we have a holding signs SOP. We have different guys. This is a real company with real tangible tools and spreadsheets. And instead of franchising it, we just give it to the mentees. And we hope that you guys can utilize it and you guys can change your lives, change the barbers in your peers, your co-workers' lives. And we just want to elevate the industry, because the way I see it, guys, is 800 students in the mentorship.
That's dope, bro.
In barbers in North America. And most of them are struggling. We all know that. Those of you guys that are in this live stream right now, you work in a shop where you're looking around seeing barbers who are struggling, and they don't know. And a lot of the times it's because they don't know what they don't know. I get messages all the time where people are asking me, hey, Chris, I'm thinking about doing the mentorship, but the economy's bad and all the barbers around me are struggling. Is it worth my time? Bro, You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the reality of the barber industry right now. And the thing is that when you see some of the numbers that these guys are pulling, like the barber the 19-year-old who made $13,000 last month, he's not charging 50, 60, 70, $80 a cut. These guys are charging market rates.
Yeah.
They're increasing little by little by demand. Like, they're community barbers, they're consultants in their area, they're giving back. You can check all the boxes and feel fulfilled and still make a great living in this industry. Sorry to keep to go on a long tail.
No, that's why you on here, right? Barbers. That's why we got you on here, bro, to let you go off. What I'm gonna say to you guys in the chat is this: ask questions because what we're gonna do our best to do is answer your questions, and we may not answer them in real time because Basio gets in flow, maybe I get in flow. We're not trying to, derail our thought. But I do have a folder I can save them in, and we'll do our best to get to your questions, and do your best to ask a question that you feel like is going to help a lot of people. Because I know a lot of you guys on here are looking for guidance, looking for help, but let's ask a question that could be beneficial to a lot of people. What were you about to say, Basio?
I think too, the important part, guys, is it's not just the tools. It's everything. It's the community. It's the coaching of people who have done things that you're looking to accomplish. Because we got guys in the mentorship that own barber supply stores, that own barber schools, that own 4 or 5 barbershops. And it's like a brotherhood in there. Those guys look out for one another. And I'm not the only one giving out information, because sometimes I'm not the best source, right? I've never opened a barber school. I'm opening one this year, but I've never opened one. But there's guys who own a couple barber schools who always chime in, and it's, Marv, you know this, successful people love to give back. They love to mentor. They love to see a version of themselves 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and pour into that person. Because imagine if they would have had that, right? And so you have a lot of those same type of individuals in our community as well. So it's a good time, man.
No, I love it. And I would say to any barber at any experience level, I think it's just dope to be a part of the community, but especially a beginner barber. Maybe you're on here right now and you're watching this and you feel discouraged because you're looking at what's going on in the country. You're looking at the economy. Maybe you're in a shop where it's just slow. Maybe you slow down significantly. Maybe you're thinking about picking up a second job and you're just dealing with all of these frustrations, and you feel like you're facing a lot of these obstacles,
man.
And maybe you're in a scenario where you're around people who can't really help you. And the trap you can fall into as a barber is maybe when you log online and you see opportunities like this, you start reading through the comments. You've never done a course, or you never did a mentorship, so you're on the fence. You're a little hesitant to do it, and you start seeing people that leave comments where they say there's no reason to do things like that. You can learn it all for free, or, everybody nowadays has a course or a mentorship. And you start listening to these bot pages, these NPC type people that are just spewing stuff in the comment section. And it could gear you in a direction that it isn't necessarily going to be of your best interest, because now you lean to the side of,
let's keep it
maybe
they don't have shit. Misery loves company. They don't have shit. Misery loves company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you idolizing then? You're idolizing mediocrity? Nothing?
Yeah.
Like, at least, what's the biggest risk that could happen?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's stopping you from trying to grow, from trying, even if it's not with myself? It ain't gonna be like you're not gonna be able to figure it all out on your own, guys. Nobody does that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The president has
just going to be the slowest route. You just got the slowest route. Learn it all on your own. You know? And the problem with the internet is like the group think, right? And you start to see a similar thought process or comment, and you start to think that's the reality. And it's like, no, like that's just what that set of people think. You know what I'm saying? And you start to see comments from people that you don't really know nothing about. Like, you don't know what this person has going on in their life, or what they've accomplished, or if they're even successful in their own eyes, but they'll say something that, and you'll listen to that thing where it's like, bro, what are you doing? When you have so many resources like we have today, when you have people that have made over 8 figures, creating communities and giving all of you these templates and all of these, SOPs and just all of this game, you have people pouring back into others. It's like, why not take advantage of some of that stuff? I know you wish you had stuff like this back when you first started. What did you have that was close to this when you first started? Anything?
Yes. So the closest thing that I had to was ABMAM, average barbers making above average money.
Oh, our boy Al's Millions. Let's go.
Al's Millions. That program changed my life, bro. That was the first course. Yeah, that was the first course, and I considered it mentorship because he had these audios that, bro, I used to drive an hour every day to work to the barbershop. Because I knew I was gonna plant my flag in Tampa. And my sister, she was living at my parents' house, who weren't living there at the time, and so we moved in together to save some money, to try to change our lives, right? And I remember driving every day an hour to go to go to work, and on that drive, I would literally, I moved those files to a CD, and I would listen to the audios that Al would put on that website. And he wasn't talking about blurry phase, nothing like that. He literally talked about being an average barber making above average money. And it was just gems. It was just him talking to me, mentoring me. Every single day I'm listening to the audios, and that was helping mold my mindset and my energy when I was in the shop. Because, and I'm sure a lot of barbers can relate to this, sometimes you're the only person in your life that's thinking like this, right? That wants more. When you go to the shop, it's like miserable. It's like everybody's just there, and they're miserable, right? And so I used to really tap into these audios to prepare me, and I'd show up, because I would say, be the first one in, last one to leave. I'd show up early, leave last. I'd work on Sundays. It really molded my mentality between him and another guy, E.T., Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher. I listened to those two.
It's so funny how so many of us have such similar paths. Those were the first, the first two. E.T. was the first like motivational guy that grabbed me like that, and Al's was the bro. I just found it real quick.
And Marv, what's so funny, bro?
Shout outs to Al. Now I'm a barber. This impacted my life so significantly as a barber, bro.
Come on, man. Come on now.
Yeah.
And you know, Marv, what's interesting? Nothing's changed.
Yeah,
as far as the people who are cynical and skeptical, the haters, the negative people, that's the majority.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is the majority. And before, it wasn't on social media. It'd be at the shop making fun of you because you got a camera out, making fun of you because you're going to barber expos and shows and stuff. Things haven't changed. People are acting like things that the dynamic is new. Sure, there's more technology, there's more reach, all these things, but you still got a bunch of barbers who are miserable, who don't think nothing works, who thinks everything is a lie. And if you listen to them, you'll go down that path. And imagine if I would have listened to them. Imagine if I would have been molded by that instead of what I was preaching on ABMAM. Bro, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, and I wouldn't trade places with none of them.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. And it is funny because I'm just reflecting on it, thinking back to like how much Al helped me, because back when I was doing my best to figure this barbering thing out, the Instagram thing, I wasn't aware of it. Number one, I wasn't aware of the early stages of it. I didn't know about like the A-Rods and Papito, and I didn't really know about that. So I was on YouTube looking for people, and Timeless Vic was one of the people that helped me out a lot with cutting hair. Right, Timeless Vic. And then I came across Al, and Al just resonated with my soul, bro, because like you said, it was just above, average barbers making above average money, and he was just preaching the principles of barbering, the things like you said that they're just timeless, man. It worked then, it worked 10 years before then, it worked 10 years before then, and it's going to work 10 years from now, and that's why I just have always found so much value in what he gave me, and I do my best to pass that forward. So it's interesting, man.
Yeah, recently he gave me an award. He has like the OG Barber Expo, and he gave me an award at that expo. It was just,
when did you get yours? Was it last year or the year before?
I got it last year. Yeah, I got it last year, man. It was just like a full circle moment for me. You know what I mean? And it was dope. It was dope.
You spoke at that, right?
Yeah, I spoke at that event. I did a class at that event.
Yeah, it was cool. Dope. I did a whole presentation. I'm on a stage. I pulled up some of his old stuff. I pulled up like parts from the book. You know what I mean? I pulled up.
Oh, that's cool,
I pulled
man.
up. Yo, he reposted me back in the day, bro, and I felt like I
What?
made it. I
What?
was going on one of my earlier rants where I'm in the car yelling at the barbers, and he reposted it. So I scrolled way back. I found that, and I showed him that, and it was just such a, like you said, it's a full circle moment. You know, going from that.
You brought up something. You brought up like A-Rod and them before, like in the Instagram days. I used to go to barber shows, barber battles. I remember going to one in Lakeland, going to one in Tampa. I remember going to one in Orlando, and I would see him, A-Rod. I would see Papito Bless Hands. I would see Angel Ross. All the Instagram guys, I would see them at every show. These guys were on the road going to show to compete in barber battles. That's what a lot of people don't realize. These guys started out just like you. Some of you guys don't even want to do bar battles. You want to skip it and judge. But I used to, before I was even on YouTube, when I had my barber, when I had like one or two barbershops, I would go to these shows because I love the industry. I love the craft, and I wanted to be around that. And I distinctly remember seeing these guys competing, you know, and I would see like A-Rod and Papito and the Bones and Pacinos, all these guys that are known today, and they're just influencers, right? These guys were on the road. They were competing show after show after show, sacrificing, living in their car. I saw Vic Blends was in here. I literally met Vic Blends when he drove his car from North Carolina. I think it was to CT Barber Expo. And he came up to me and he shook my hand. I didn't know who he was at the time. And he said, "Yo, Basio, one day we're gonna collab." I'm telling you what, you guys don't know the work that these people put in. You just wanna, you know, even myself, you can't take it away from me because I've vlogged it. I've vlogged it for the last 10, 12 years. But even myself, people love to see you during the climb and struggling. They don't love to see you when you finally made it. Now, all of a sudden, you shifted. You're different now. It's weird, man. It's weird how people act. But like, I remember seeing Vic, bro, living in his car, bro, going show to show just to network.
Yeah.
Just to network, man. That shit is dope to me. And it should, people need to hear that more because it's possible. All of that is possible.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Vic, I always show Vic love because, you know, it's the same story, right? Like I was at that same CT Expo where he drove up there too, and he introduced himself to me. You know what I mean? And he told me, he's like, "One day you're gonna hear about me," you know. And I'm like, "What word?" He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna hear about me." And I'm like, "Everybody say that," and he crushed it.
Everybody say that.
Yeah,
everybody say that.
And what's cool though is because again, like you said, people don't realize the work you put in, you know, and like with me doing the TikTok stuff, it's introducing me to a whole new audience now. So I'm meeting all of these little kids. These little kids love me, all these high schoolers. And, you know, obviously they love Vic because Vic is just humongous over there. And it's funny because they think like, you know, the free haircuts and stuff blew him up. And it's like, sure, you could make that argument because that's the content that really took off. But it's like, bro, this dude, he was grinding long before that free haircut stuff in the barber industry, doing a whole bunch of things. So, you know, I always point that out to him. Like, don't think he got like lucky. I watched this dude put in work for years. And it's the same thing with so many of the successful people. You see them when they're at these points where you think it's like the top or super successful, but you don't see when they're driving their car 15 hours from Fayetteville, North Carolina, you know, to attend a barbering event that they're paying their way into.
Yeah, but now you have a whole new wave of people telling young guys not to do that shit. That's a waste of time. That's stupid. Work smarter, not harder. Like, do both. Work smart and hard. Yeah. And like, at the end of the day, the people that I want to be around are people who are willing to sleep in their car for their dreams. People who are willing to sleep in a hotel. I mean, in the airport for their dreams. That's who I want to be around. I've also been around barbers who are divas, who just want to show up on stage. They got to be on first class. It's got to be a 2,000 a night hotel. I've been around those guys too, and they exist. Don't get me wrong, but the ones who last the long term, the guys who are gonna be here, like Marv has for a decade, like myself, like Vic, who's gonna be here, ain't going nowhere because we love this and we do this for all the right reasons. We're not going nowhere, and we're willing to do the shit that most people ain't willing to do, and that's the truth. Are you willing to do what most people ain't willing to do?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I mean, what would you say to some of these young barbers that are, you know, seeing so much information out there, so many opinions, so many different perspectives, and they're just feeling overwhelmed and confused and really not sure what route they want to take. Like, think about if you were fresh out of barber school right now and you're seeing just all of this stuff going on and you were feeling overwhelmed. You know, what do you feel like you would need to hear?
It's difficult, man. It's difficult because I think that everybody's vision of what they want, what they see as success, it kind of evolves. So I typically like to ask people, what is it that they're trying to do? Why are they trying to do it? I think the best thing that most young people can do is read a book called Why by Simon Sinek.
Yeah.
That's one of the best books for young men and women to read, because it really shifts your mindset. It's a paradigm. It really makes you think about the shit that actually matters. And what I see is a lot of people who are missing that piece in their life. They chase the wrong things. They chase temporary dopamine, right? A nice new car, jewelry, followers, things like that. And I think that book Why really changes things. So if you're young, you don't read no books, man, listen to it. Go watch a YouTube video. Simon Sinek, Why. It's a game changer.
Yeah, I agree. I've read that book as well. Now, hearing you say that, I probably should dive back into it, because I'm assuming you're probably a lot like me. You probably have been through a ton of different books and audio books and stuff. So this might be my sign to dive back into it. And what I would say is, like what Basio just said, if you don't read, listen to it. Man, you would be amazed at how much you could learn just on your drive to and from work, bro. Like, when I'm going anywhere, and mostly when I'm alone, if I don't have like my wife and kids in the car, I always have an audio book on. I always have some sort of podcast on. I always have something on YouTube on. I'll have videos from the Six Figure Barber Mentorship on. I'm always putting on something that can help elevate my awareness, can teach me something. And you just would be amazed at how much you can learn over a 3-month, 6-month, year period, just by simply instead of listening to music in your car, just putting on a few audiobooks. You know what I'm saying?
Let me show you my screen real quick. Let me my screen real quick, Marv.
Take advantage of the audiobooks, guys. Like, because I know reading could be hard, but you could put it on in the whip, bro, when you're going to and from work or wherever you're gonna go. If you're by yourself in the whip,
you know, show up to the shop early.
Yeah,
put the audiobook in the shop. You know what I mean? Early
I'm before everybody's
coming in. Okay, so guys, so to piggyback on what you were talking about, what advice I would give somebody. So this is Kevin. He was like, I think he joined the program. He's like 20 years old when he joined the program. Bro was on commission, which I have nothing against commission, but he was getting, I think he was on 50% commission. And, you know, I was just coaching him, asking him what he wanted to do in life and stuff like that. And we put together a plan. And what I told him was just invest in yourself and become as great as you could possibly be. Focus on the business side and the, you know, whatever's going on in your life, as long as money's not an issue, you can solve a lot of problems, right? And in these next years, the next 3 to 5 years, you can really change the trajectory of the route that your life is going, because the kid was making like $500 a week. And 2 years ago is when we had that conversation. So his first year after that conversation, he made $85,000, which is great for a 20-year-old kid, bro. And then the second year, he cleared over 100,000. This dude has $90,000 saved in the bank after 2 years of that advice. This isn't how many? So he has 66,000 in his portfolio. This is assets. These are investments. And then he has a buffer in his business account for $10,000. By the end of the year, he'll have 100K in the bank. And then we'll strategize. We'll figure out where he should put his money next. But this is the compounding effect of being humble, living below your means, working hard, and seeing it through. Telling yourself, I'm going to work hard with my head down. I'm going to, don't get me wrong, have a life. I'm not telling you not to have a life. You can make 6 figures and have a life, guys, right? It's more than possible. But this young man, he listened and he was humble, and he didn't go buy a brand new Beamer and start traveling like a lot of 20-year-old kids would that got 100K in the bank. And this dude with this 100K in the next 3 years, next 3 to 5 years, he can set himself up to never, ever have to cut hair for money again. He's going to cut hair because he enjoys it. I still cut hair. I cut hair maybe 2-3 times a week, and I love it. I enjoy it. Sometimes I'll record it, sometimes I won't. I'll take 2 hours on the haircut because we talking and having a good time, and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And I think that most people, if they just sacrifice for a season, they got their whole life ahead of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To live a life that they want to design. That's the advice that I gave that young man. So
Yeah, I love that. What's a simple budget that you would, offer a beginner barber, right? A beginner barber that just kind of spends however they want, don't really save anything. They're making money today and then hoping they make some tomorrow. What would be
yeah,
a advice you would give them to start getting their
that
money in order?
that's a great question. So for me, I always give people a bunch of different options for like budgeting because everybody's style is going to be different. Some people have to be really extreme, use the Dave Ramsey method. Some people just need it to be as automated as possible. And I always give out a few different books, like Profit First is a good one. Dave Ramsey's is a good one, the whole envelope thing. But at the end of the day, where I think most people want to be at is not have to worry about money. And so what I tell people to do is what's your lifestyle right now? What do you need to do to be able to continue to live the lifestyle you have and not increase it? Some people will tell me I spend $5,000 a month. I spend $4,000 a month. I spend $6,000 a month. Okay, cool. All right, let's look at that budget. And then let's go look at, and what I usually do is I'll have people, I use the same app and my accounting firm. We do like a budgeting spreadsheet, and then we give people this app as well because it's free. Rocket Money. It's a great app, okay? And then you just connect all of your bank accounts, and it'll tell you what your spending habit has been. And then it'll tell you what subscriptions you have. And so what I try to focus on is things that I can make a decision one time, and it pay me residually. The best analogy I can give for that is like in fitness. It's hard for somebody to follow a nutrition, a count macros, calories, protein, all these things, right? It's very difficult to completely just flip of a switch. So what I tell people to do, even on the fitness side, is, bro, clear out your pantry, clear out your fridge, go somewhere organic and restock it. That way, every time you go to your kitchen, you have no choice but to eat healthy. So it's kind of the same thing with finances. Cut out all that fat. If you got subscriptions you're not using, just sit down with your family, with your wife, with your spouse, whoever it may be, and print out some statement sheets, circle the shit you guys don't need, cancel it this month, and then for the rest of the year, you don't have to worry about that expense. And all of a sudden, your expenses went from $6,000 to $4,500 a month, just like that. We renegotiate insurances, stuff like that. And so with this Rocket Money app now, all you have to do is make sure every month you're at $4,500. You don't have to and every day it'll tell you, hey, by the way, you're $200 above what you spent at this time last month. Oh shit, babe, we got to slow down, right? And then all of a sudden you're break even. Then you get a little fancy, you spend some money. Oh shit, babe, we got to slow down. By the end of the month, you might be 10% above or you might be 10% lower, but at least you're there. At least you're sticking to some kind of budget. But then here's the best part. If you do that as the foundation, and then instead of spending all that time counting every penny, every bill, doing envelopes, if you spend that time instead working on your business, increasing your revenues, you might look back after one quarter, after 90 days and say, oh shit, I was spending 6,000. I dropped my expenses down to 4,500. And now I'm making 8,000 a month because I focused on the business. Oh shit, I got $3,500 extra every month that I can invest, that I can save. And so that snowballs, and then you get excited. Your wife's excited. Now you're like, yo, let's get to 10,000 a month, 12,000, 13,000 a month. All of a sudden you're saving more money than you've ever saved, and you can clear out your debt so quickly that way. It's a mindset shift. And you know, that's the way I would budget myself, but you can always start out with the more intense, aggressive style if you want to, right?
Yeah, no, I love that. Super valuable information. Rocket Money, cut the check. Send Basio. I need to cut the check. Nah, in all seriousness, guys, download it, man. Download it. Somebody was asking me the other day for like, I'm trying to budget my money or whatever. They were like, just give me something simple. It was a younger kid. I'm like, bro, just start with, I told him the 50, 30, 20. So take 50%. I said, just get 3 envelopes, bro. Take 50% of whatever you make, put it in the 50, 30% of whatever you make into the 30, 20% into the 20. And the 50 is for your bills and necessities. The 30 is for you to invest, right? Save up and invest. And then the 20% is you to spend on whatever the hell you want and not have to think twice about it. You
Check
know,
this out, Marv. Check this out. Different budgeting styles. It's a SOP. We give all kinds of different budgeting styles. Look what's
that's funny. 50, 30, 20.
30, 20. We give you the book for it. We give you the YouTube video that you can watch for it. You find your style, and then I highlight the ones I really like. So we're on the
Nah, I love it. Barbers, again, if you guys are enjoying this, make sure you hit the like button, because y'all, I don't know if y'all are hitting the like button. There's 100 of y'all in here, 147 of y'all or whatever. Hit the like button, drop some gems in the chat. Again, ask good questions. If you got some questions you feel like would be helpful for everybody in here, ask them, and me and Bossy will make sure that we get to them at some point. I see our boy Al is in the building, bro. Woo! Al's in the building. We was just showing you a whole bunch of love, Al. They must have sent you a message. Shout outs to the boy, the man, the myth, the legend, Al's Millions. Legend. We appreciate you, bro.
Legend.
For real. You said one thing within that informative spiel you just went on, where you were talking about once you have a bunch of stuff all set and going, it will give you time to work on the business to help you scale it, right? So, you know, a lot of barbers of all experience levels here that there's a difference between working in the business, working on the business, and they're not really sure what that means, especially a younger barber, right? You tell them you need to work on the business as well. So what are some examples you can give a newer barber or any barber of all experience levels, or things that they could do to work on the business, just so they have clarity of what that means?
Yeah, I think you first have to start out with identifying what KPIs you're going to use. KPIs are key performance indicators. I'm not trying to be fancy. This is honestly business 101, right? Like,
what does that mean though? Like, break it down. If I'm a kindergartner, what would a KPI be?
So key performance indicators are things like booking rate, retention rate. So for example, if you have 10 appointments every day available and you always have 9 bookings for that day, you're 90% booked. That booking rate is considered a KPI. All right. What is your average revenue per client? That is a KPI. Cuts by Kels just said churn rate. That's a KPI. And so you need to identify, I would say just start with 3 that you're going to focus on, right? And you're going to try to improve, and then reverse engineer it and think to yourself, how do I improve my booking rates? How can I improve that, right? Or how can I improve how often a customer visits me per year? And then you got to track those numbers. And then when you have those KPIs, then we can focus on working on the business. And so just like a quick example of that I would give is, if I want my customers to visit me more often, one of the ways that I can do that is send out text campaigns twice a month, is send out email reminders 2 to 3 weeks before any holiday that's coming up, is make sure that my clients are rebooking after a haircut, is making sure that I've asked all of my clients if they want to set up recurring appointments, right? And if you implement that into your daily disciplines, you will see that snowball and you will see those KPIs grow. That strategic thinking is working on the business. Where working in the business is implementing it. And you see, the richest people, the highest paid people, the CEOs, they're not implementing anything. Okay. They're the ones that are thinking strategically. They're working on the business. And a lot of barbers, they don't even save a day just to do that. And they don't realize that saving a day to do that, even though you're going to lose $500, $600, $700 because you're not cutting hair that day, that thing will double or triple all of your income by just spending some time to work on the business.
So question, all right, the barber hears that and they're like, all right, you know, I love what he's saying. I got to start tracking, you know, my booking rate, my retention rate, my churn rate, and all of this stuff. How are they going to track that? What's your best advice to them as far as?
So there's a few ways. You want to know how I did it for 10 years? Notebook, pen and paper.
Facts.
And I wrote down every day I wrote down my clients and I did the math. Every week I did the math, and then at the end of the month I would see how I performed. You guys got it a lot easier because there's all kinds of apps. There's all kinds of scheduling apps that give you data. I mean, even Square will give you your average ticket, right? Like, what is you swipe, you can look, what was the average you had for the week, for the month, and then let's try to gamify it and see you know, if next week or next month we can increase that number. It literally is get 1% better every day. But if you don't know what that number is, how can you do it? And I mean, I'm sure Squire has some amazing data. I'm sure all the booking apps have some amazing data, but you got to go find it and identify it. And all you guys are using that data. But worst case scenario, write it down. Just write it down.
Yeah, I have a barber in my shop. I mean, we have Squire, but even just on his own, he has his book, and he's been using it for years. He just old school. He loves it. It's just after everything, he's writing stuff down. So old school, just writing in your notebook will help a lot. And like Basio said, there's a lot of booking apps and stuff out there that will help you out as well. Speaking of booking apps, people were coming at you a little bit crazy for the booking app stuff, huh? Let me play this real quick. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Let me
with 2 jobs. I'm going to
play it.
How I went from being a young man.
Hold on, we got to find the right one. Where is it? This one.
The last thing I want is the booking software that's supposed to be helping my business, promoting other barbers to the customers that I brought to their platform. I mean, seriously, what is that, man? I'm not interested in that. I've been in business a dozen years. I've never needed a booking app to bring me traffic. And the last thing I want to do is bring the booking app traffic, and then they take my traffic that I'm bringing them and try to give it and persuade my clients to go to another barber. Not that it could happen. I'm just not interested in using a tool that doesn't have my best interest in mind.
So a couple things before I hear some of your thoughts on that. Some of the comment stuff I've seen in the comment section after, you know, hearing that are, it just sounds like an insecure barber. Sounds like a barber who doesn't have confidence in their skill set and can't get people to come back. Sounds like a barber who's scared of competition and, you know, all of this crazy stuff, which I thought was just so interesting because I'm like, I don't even know if these people actually listened to what he was saying in there, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, seeing that video, there can be that misinterpretation when I think it's enough context, but maybe there's not enough context. That misinterpretation where people hear that and think that you don't believe in booking apps or you don't like booking apps. And I mean, just a few minutes ago, you were saying there's a lot of booking apps you can use to like track information and stuff. So clearly you're not against booking apps. Can you give us more context behind that video just to clear the air on some things?
Yeah, I mean, I was specifically talking about booking apps that promote other barbers to your clients that you bring, right? That's not all booking apps. You know what I mean? Just choose a booking app that doesn't do that. But here's the thing. I'm on my 10th location, guys. And what was challenges in the past aren't necessarily a big deal when you're just a barber behind the chair cutting hair. At that stage in your career, there are barbers who their biggest concern is, man, the barbershop's a little dirty. I'm paying booth rent. Oh, the shop owner needs to talk to these guys or whatever. What am I paying booth rent for? That's what y'all are complaining about. And you're willing to leave a shop over issue challenges like that. Where somebody like myself, you know, we are a busy barbershop. We are a large brand here in Tampa. We're probably the most well-known in Tampa, I would argue. And to give you an idea of the power of our shop and the branding of our shop, we had a barber, Dev, that started 4 weeks ago. Last week, he made $3,400 at the shop. He's been working with us for 4 weeks. We had a barber named Mouton. He moved from Michigan to Tampa. His first month, he made $12,000 behind the chair, charging $25. We do really, really well, and I have to protect that. So there's no booking app that's going to get me more clients than what I can get myself. So I'm not going to pay. It would be like me paying my landlord the $5,000 a month, and then after 6 months, the next door neighbor moves out and they put another barbershop in there. Am I insecure because I don't like that? Or is that just a business owner being like, what the hell, bro? You know, like, so at the end of the day, there's no way I'm going to bring in, look, I can even show you guys numbers. If I'm running meta ads and one of my locations gets 30 clients, 25 clients from the meta ads, I'm running Google ads. I'm spending thousands of dollars on Google ads. And one of my locations, all of my locations are getting hundreds of clients from all these ads pouring money into. But then I bring them onto an app that's going to allow other barbers to pay them to get in front of my clients. and it's going to use its algorithms to nurture them to other barbers. Why would I use that service when there's 50 other booking apps out there that don't do that?
Right.
I'm going to use the booking app that doesn't do that.
Right.
I mean, what's insecure about that?
Yeah. That was one of the reasons where, you know, a couple years back, I switched to Squire from Booksy, because Squire promoted the idea that I could have my own custom app. Right. So
yeah,
they said, you just get the Pals Barbershop and be your app. So I'm like, I like that, because now it's like, download the Pals Barbershop app. You know what I'm saying? And now they even, I know they do, it's called like Flex or something, where it allows you to like make your own branded personal app so that you're telling people to download it. So I like that idea. So even back then, I always thought it was weird to me when I have my clients getting texts from other barbers and barbershops, you know, and I'm still in the system for Booksy from just using it from back in the day. That's just one of the apps. And I'll get text randomly where it's just like, you know, my prices have went down, or, you know, this barber's open here. And I'm just like, you know, it can be a good and a bad thing, right? Because as a barber who's looking for new clients and it isn't trying to do any of the real marketing tactics that are going to drive in business, they think just posting on social media is going to get people in. Sure, it could at least feel good to them to get some clients directed to them from the app, but at the same time, it's they sending your clients elsewhere too. So I always thought that was weird. Once I realized
100%. Our bit, like what I do, is not for everybody. If you're not willing to take the time to learn the business side, if you're not willing to take the time to learn the technology and the marketing side, like somebody like Marv knows marketing better than most people in any industry. And it takes real sacrifice and dedication and learning to get to that level. If you're not willing to do that, then Booksy is the best app for you. But if you're willing to take control of your business, to own it, and you want to scale your business, you have zero business being on apps that are going to promote other barbers to your business. Because, guys, maybe it's not a big problem by yourself in the chair, but some of you guys have real dreams of not having to trade time for money your whole life, dreams of one day being able to retire and cut hair just because you like to. Some of y'all have those dreams. How are you, if you're not making moves now that are going to be setting you up for that reality, you're never going to get there. And so, you know, am I saying Booksy is terrible for all barbers? No. I'm just saying, specifically in that video, I'm talking about me. I'm on my 10th location. There's no way in hell I'm doing that, you know?
Yeah. And it's not just, you know, it's not like we picking on Booksy, bro. There's a lot of other apps do that stuff too. But
there's a lot of them that do it.
Yeah. And it's not even, I mean, it's an objective truth, you know? So if it makes people feel a type of way, I mean, we're just saying the sky's blue, bro. That's what's happening. I don't know.
Look, but, I used to like Square. We're not touching Square anymore because they're going the Booksy route. I'm not doing it. You know?
So you said you're going on your 10th location, which is super dope. That's insane. I have my one, and I'm like, shout outs to people like Basio, because dealing with a whole
you cut up on me. You cut up me, Marv.
Can you hear me? Am I back?
Yeah, you said something. You have your one.
So I have my one barbershop, right? And
okay, yep.
You know, and I got there's 8 of us in there, and it's just such a dope vibe. Like I always tell people, my situation with my barbershop is so different. I don't like to give too much insight on like building and growing barbershops and building a team and stuff, because I just feel like what I have is kind of an anomaly, and I'm like lucky in an instance. And what I mean when I say that is, you know, one barber that works with me, somebody I know my whole life, gave me my first job. Right. And he was a client of mine. He was in a spot where he was looking for a new career, taught him how to cut hair. He's crushing it. Another barber, my younger cousin, right? I changed his diapers, right? So he's a barber. Another barber used to be a client of mine, right? Client of mine for years, wanted to cut hair. Another barber that is in my shop, somebody I grew up with. Another barber was a client of mine for years. We used to play ball together. He wanted to go learn how to cut hair, so he cuts. 2 other people.
Marv, it sounds like you a real barber. It sounds like you a real barber, bro.
You know, another person that's learning how to cut hair right now is my best friend. He's a year younger than me. My best friend. He's learning.
Yep.
And then the other barber that's learning is my other younger cousin. He's, you know, like 15 years old. So my situation is like such an anomaly. You know what I mean? And I know I'm blessed. I'm fortunate, and it's just such an interesting situation that I don't really speak too much on a lot of the barbershop stuff because I feel like it's just an anomaly. But with all that being said, you're going on your 10th barbershop, right? So clearly you guys are doing something right. People can have their opinions and critique and have their perspective on what you're doing, but you can't deny results. And if you got 10 of these things open, clearly you know something. So
and it's not just 10 regular shops. I would bet that the majority of our barbers are making 6 figures. And that's the key there. The way we do our business model is the first thing that I want to do is make sure it's a 6-figure opportunity for our barber. And then we can try to make money as a barbershop owner. And it's been successful. It's that formula has worked for me. And you can make a 6-figure opportunity, whether it's commission, whether it's salary, whether it's booth rent, it doesn't matter. You just got to run the numbers.
So question, with all that being said, what is your advice to somebody who is thinking about opening a shop? What are some key mistakes that you feel like most barbers make when going to open a shop, and how could they avoid making those mistakes? What are some things you wish maybe you were told when you opened your first barbershop?
Sure. So I think number one is over controlling of your shop is going to be the biggest mistake you can make. It just goes against why people open businesses to begin with. People open businesses generally, I would assume, to make their lives better, right? Whether that's more time freedom, more income, something that they're proud of, all those things, right? They don't open businesses to be miserable and be mad at everything. And when I first opened my first shop, I remember just everything irritated me. If the AC was left on, if the shop was left dirty, everything irritated me. And every night I'd be texting the barbers, hey man, you left this. Hey man, you did this. And just every day, just on them. Not realizing my issue was everybody's different. And there's no way in hell you're going to have 12 barbers in 10 barbershops that are going to be perfect. It's not going to happen. You're the shop owner because you wanted to be a shop owner, and that's what you want. But if that's what you want, then you need to be strategic about it. And that's where things change for me. Instead of me getting on top of my barbers because they left the AC on, I bought a Nest. Instead of getting on top of my barbers because I wanted them to do deep cleans every week and they didn't want to do it, but we're on booth rent. All right, fine. I got a cleaning lady, and every twice a week they come and clean it, and all the barbers got to do is maintain it. All the things that we have issues with, we can solve them. It's just a lot of shop owners that use the wrong solution for the problem. And so that flip of a switch really helped me in that less control is actually better. And the way that I make sure that my shops are doing well is I look at the reviews. What are my customers saying? Are the customers that come in to get a haircut, that live in that community, that barbershop is a hub for, are they happy there? Anything else is just my ego in the way. And by changing my mindset and thinking that way, man, that's how I've been able to scale and build such a great team. Because Marv, if I had a younger version of me and I was on top of them trying to control every little thing, you're going to lose somebody like me. You're going to lose somebody like Marv. Why not if you got somebody like Marv when he was 19, 20 years old, man, you better nurture that. Give him a chance to blossom into that. Be his mentor, be his coach. That's my full-time job now. My full-time job at these barbershops is to mentor, is to coach, is to help my leaders grow. And that's what we've been doing. And with the mentorship, we've just been allowing people into what we do on a day-to-day basis.
I love all of that, bro. And I resonate with you so much when you say like you control less. And I feel like that was back when I had a partner. I think that's where we didn't see it the same because he wanted to control more than I did. And, now that I'm solo, been for years, at times it's almost like a free for all. And sometimes I'm like, maybe I should be a little bit more controlling. But at the same time, it's just like, bro, we're grown men. We know what we're supposed to do. Just do what we're supposed to do. And I can understand getting mad over some of the little things, not saying that I do, but I can understand why some people do, because I think some people just believe a lot. It's in the small details, which that is true. And you do want to do some of these little things right in order to grow and blossom a business. But I look at it just like you do, bro, in a sense where I'm looking at the reviews. If we're not getting negative reviews, people aren't complaining, I could be mad at this thing. I could be mad that the garbage is full. I could be mad that people swept to the little thing that sucks up the hair and they didn't sweep it all the way in because it's filled up and they didn't pull it out and dump it out. I can get mad at all that. But at the end of the day, is it really that big of an issue? You know, does it need to turn into something where it could grow and fester into something that just is so much bigger? And now you're having this high turnover rate and all of this stuff.
Man.
Like, one of the things with my shop that I'm very proud of is like I said, the culture that we built and the people I have in it are legit like family. But it's also a team I've had for my whole career. You know what I'm saying? Like literally my whole career, back as early as I can think, these people have been around me. So we are legit like a family. So it's not something where I've had people coming and going. And I think part of the reason is because I am not as controlling as most owners would be. And I think it's a good thing more than a bad thing.
Dude, the business operation manual I just showed you, I didn't make that. One of our leaders made that. We just had an award given to one of my locations, our Sun Lake location. I haven't been there in 4 or 5 months. I haven't been there. I'm sure you guys have heard of the Nextdoor app. The community just voted us the best barbershop in the town, and the Nextdoor app sent us an award. You know, come on. I've been there in 4 to 5 months. That's a beautiful thing where most shop owners will never see that. They're too busy thinking they're the Nextdoor app, thinking they're the community. You know what I mean? And they represent them, and they mess it up. Before you know it, that shop never would have gone to 12 barbers. It's stuck at 4 or 5. You got a revolving door, like Marv, you were saying. And that's the reality of most shops. Most barbershop owners who think they know what they're doing, they've never had a full shop. We're going on number 10 now. Yeah. Success leaves clues, guys.
How do you know if running a shop is going to be for you? Because I'm also a believer that owning a shop isn't for everybody. What are your thoughts to that, number one? And what would you say would be some qualities you would possess that would make you a great candidate to be a shop owner that can not only own a shop, but possibly expand? What do you think it takes?
So I used to agree with that. And not that I disagree. I think there is truth to it. But I would say that it's not for everybody yet. I just think that people have gone through some bad experiences. They were probably doing it wrong, like I was in the beginning. Oh, it's too much BS. It's too much dramas. There might have been things that you weren't doing when you were running a shop that you realized, damn, had I done it that way, that kills all the reasons why I hated owning a business. The reality is that most people, if they want the dreams that they want, the best thing they can do is own a business. It's a compounding machine. It's literally the biggest wealth builder in the world. People will say real estate is, but no, if you look at the Forbes list, everyone owned a business. They just started to diversify into real estate. And so we, even in the mentorship, we've recently had people that are like, yo, I owned a shop 8 years ago. I vowed I would never own a shop again. You've got that, like, that fire's back in me now. I just signed a lease for a location. Yo, that's amazing. And so I think that a lot of times people go into business by themselves, and it's a lonely, dark journey. Like Marv, it's different for you because look at the people you're surrounded around. You love the people you're around. You're loving the business that you've built. And that type of business is for everyone. It's just most people don't know how to do it. You know what I mean? And like I said, bro, like, if you don't go into business, that's fine. But I truly believe that there's something that you can turn into a business, whether it's a passion, whether it's a hobby of yours, or it's just something you're really, really good at. If you do it the right way and you don't take it so serious like some people do, where they think they open a business, they got to act like, I don't know, what's his name? Who's the chef? Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
Bit, right? It can be fun. A business doesn't have to control you, doesn't have to own you. It's got to be the other way around. So,
yeah, I love it, bro. And I agree. You enter. It's funny because the same barbers that will complain about, the owner, being on them too much will open the shop and they want to be on people too much. It's like, yo, bro. Like,
yeah, every time.
Yeah,
every damn time.
Yeah.
Or they want to be on top of their clients. How many sweet owners in here be pissed off at their clients for not being the perfect client? talking shit about their clients, like all that. Like, guys, believe it or not, barbers are a shop owner's customers too, especially if they're paying booth rent. Y'all are paying us.
Yeah.
So like it's so funny how the perspective changes when you become a suite owner or a shop owner or something like that.
Yeah, it was funny. One of the barbers that worked with me for a little bit, he ended up wanting to go and do his own thing years ago. And obviously we're still cool, right? And maintained a relationship because we were friends. And it was funny because I remember he was a shop owner for a couple months, and he shot me this long text, and he was like apologizing to me. He was like, "Bro, I'm sorry, I gave you a hard time sometimes. I understand, I get it." And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, like this is all I was trying to tell you." So just sometimes we just lack perspective, and you think
that's all it is.
Yeah, you think things are a certain way, and then you get in that experience in that scenario yourself, and you're like, "Oh, okay, this is this is what it really is." I wanted to ask you a question, man. I feel like we are at an interesting time in barbering, and maybe it's just what I see from my perspective and in my world, but I feel like there's almost like this beef between barbers and clients. I feel like we're like kind of like beefing with the clients. Do you see that?
I noticed that, bro. I made a video the other day on YouTube that went viral, and I was not expecting it to go viral. It was literally just talking about it was a long form video I put on YouTube, and it got viral. For me is not a lot. Viral for me is like 50,000 views in a week. That's viral.
Yeah.
And I remember I'm talking about how barbers should be nurturing their customers, thinking in the long term. You don't have to be at $100. And bro, hundreds of comments started coming in from not barbers, from our customers saying, "Preach! Thank God somebody's saying this. Yes, we're sick of all these barbers charging so much, blah, blah, blah." And the reality of it is that what makes it so funny too is that the barbers who are charging that much, most of them aren't making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Most, you know what I mean? Like I've had countless people join my program, and when we look at their numbers, I'm like, dude, why are you at $60, at $70, at $80, and you're 30% booked? You're 40% booked. What the hell are you thinking?
Yeah.
And at the same time, these are the same barbers that are bragging about their prices online. Bro, where is your perspective? Are you doing this for other barbers to impress them, or are you trying to get more customers? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that's where the real money comes. There's plenty of influencers. Look, we got Zach the Barber. It is October 1st, he already cleared $300,000 in income, in adjusted gross income, in AGI. That's after taxes, right? That's after expenses, before taxes. There's not a lot of influencers doing that. No. He owns 2 barbershops in a whole nother state. He lives here in Tampa. He has a lifestyle people would dream of, and he did it by focusing on his clients. Dude charges, I think he was charging $25 his whole career. So
yeah, no, I hear you, man, and it's just interesting to me because we are in a weird time, at least in the online space, where I really just have seen for the last few years. I really think barbers just really do care, and this is a generalized statement, right? It's not every barber, but a lot of barbers really do care about impressing other barbers more than clients, and I think we forget why we do this, and yeah, I don't know. It can be frustrating at times, because I remember one time somebody commented and they asked me, they're like, "Bro," I've seen this comment a few times. They're like, "Bro, are you for the clients or are you for the barbers?" And I'm like, yeah, we're all supposed to be for the clients, number one. You know what I mean? Like, we're all supposed to be for the clients, number one. But number two, like, just because I'm saying something you don't necessarily agree with, or I'm sharing a pathway that maybe you don't think is the right path for you, doesn't mean I'm not for the barbers. It just is a different perspective than maybe you want to accept, right? What are your thoughts?
Yeah,
I see you got some good thoughts. Let me hear them.
Yeah, I would. Here's I was gonna say something, but then you touched on something that I really want to touch on, guys. The industry needs a Marv who focuses on barbers sometimes, who does it the right way. Marv isn't making content about the barbering industry and about barbers to make himself look cool. He's not, he's literally just informing the industry of trending topics, of what's the word I'm looking for? Of
just conversations.
Of conversations.
I feel like I try to bring conversations to the main, like, put them out there. That's, I feel like I'm
And
a conversation starter.
thank God you're doing that, because every industry has somebody that's doing that stuff. It is necessary for the growth of an industry. At least you got people paying attention to these discussions. At least you got people, you're creating conversations that are thought provoking. And so you should use your platform for that. But not everybody's Marv, and everybody shouldn't be Marv. And oh, by the way, Marv is successful without the social media. Y'all are missing that part too. You know what I mean? So just to defend you, I love what you do, bro, and I don't take it no other way. I think your platform is necessary. Even when we had, you know, that issue with T-Pop or whatever, like, I saw you as a friend and all that, but I also know that that's your duty to the industry, and thank God you exist, because there's so many young barbers, there's so many people that are getting put on to certain things that are happening in this industry that they might have not. How many people, as simple as the whole booking app thing, I think it's common sense. I never talk about it. The one time I do, you repost it, and it's viral.
Yeah.
And I would like, that's just common sense to me. I would have never made a video with that topic, and you're like, that's a great topic, and you present it,
That's funny.
and now you got people talking about it.
Yeah.
That's necessary. You know what I mean? And then the other point that I was going to make is I also think that we forget that there's 1 million barbers in North America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's on social media is literally the exception to the rule, but we have it in our heads that is the rule, and that's the new wave of barbering. When in reality, every single one of you work in a shop where the majority of barbers are not up on what's happening in the industry, are not up on what's happening on social media. They don't even know what the latest clipper is. Most of y'all work in shops like that. So this whole idea that the barbering industry is changing, boom, boom, boom. Yes, it's definitely cooler now more than ever to become a barber. But the reality is that most barbers still are not tapped in and don't know what's going on in the industry. And I hope that Marv's platform continues to reach more and more people, because rising tides lift all ships. We want all of our barbers practicing better business, paying their rent on time, paying the landlords on time, having good credit, paying their taxes, so that banks and the world, as we see it, respects the industry more and will want to pay attention to us more, you know?
Yeah. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate your perspective on that. And
Benny just hit it on the head. Marv is the hub for barbers. Woo!
I try to bring conversations that are being had to like my platform, you know, or just sometimes they're just like, I feel like I look for like common things and I try to figure out a way to like word it or create it in an artistic way to like bring it to the platform to like start a conversation. And, you know, I feel like sometimes people see it as like negative, some of the things I speak on. And it's just like, bro, I'm not going to be the guy that just looks away from something when I see it. Like, I don't know. I feel like we need to talk about some of these things. That's how we can reach, like, you know, we can evolve, we can grow, and we can be better. We got to acknowledge them. Just because we don't acknowledge them doesn't mean it's not happening, you know? And like the barber pricing, for example, I want to hear some of your thoughts on that. I know you touched on it a little bit earlier about, you know, barbers charging these prices, not being booked and stuff. But like, you know, even a lot of that stuff I share, because it's like so many of barbers live in such a barber bubble to where we're scrolling on our phone all day. Like you said, they think this little 1% of 1% is like actual barbering. And it's like we get wrapped up in the delusion and we think that's what barbering is. And it's like, no, bro, that's not barbering. That's a bubble that we're in. It's a box that we put ourselves in. So, you know, I like to joke and troll sometimes when it comes to the pricing, because I want to introduce that perspective that some of the real customers in the real world, how they're seeing it. Because it's one thing when like barbers are seeing it a certain way, but bro, these are the customers. Like, don't you want to know how the customers are seeing it, so that way you can be a barber that is a better and improving and doing things that are going to be more appealing to customers, rather than just, you know, having these thoughts and perspectives and getting co-signed from barbers and feeling happy with the fact that barbers are saying, let's go, I see you, sending fire emojis, but you're sitting in your chair, you're struggling, you're broke, you ain't got nobody coming to you. Like, wouldn't you want to know what the customers are thinking? So that's why sometimes I'll talk about the pricing and stuff like that to shine light on it. So hopefully the right people can see some of this dialogue and then adjust as barbers and be better and be better of service to these customers.
You know, Marv, all that attention that the 1% of the 1% is getting is doing guys like me a favor.
Yeah.
Bro, I can run ads of some fire haircuts you would see on Instagram, put $25 haircuts, 7,000 5-star reviews, and my ads print. I'm talking about 12 bookings at one location in one day, because most people they're sick of it. They're sick of dealing with celebrity barbers charging all these prices. When they see an ad like that, they're like, this gotta be too good to be true. They'll message us first and make sure that that's the correct price. It's low. It's so much easier now for anyone who wants to be a real barber to build clientele these days.
Oh my
It's so
God.
much easier.
It's so crazy too, because like I said, when I'm building and growing on TikTok, so it's introducing me to this like newer audience, right? Like in my area, all these people are recognizing me every day. It's starting to get a little weird, right? Because in the barber world, you go to the barber world, everybody knows Chris Basio, right? But like that's how it was for me for years. So everybody knows Marvy Marv. But in the real world, I'm going places I'm not getting recognized as Marvy Marv. But because of TikTok and the stuff I've been creating over there, now at Burger King, McDonald's, we're at Starbucks. Today I go to a random convenience store and they're like, wait, you're Marv, So a lot of them, they're recognizing me now, which is cool. But it's always funny when they ask me, like they'll say, you cut hair around here. I didn't know you were around here. And I tell them where I cut. And then they say, how much you charge for a cut? And I'm like, well, I do kids 35 and then adults 40. And they're like, that's it? I'm like, well, how much do you think I charge? I thought you charged 100, or sometimes even before I tell them the price, I say, well, how much do you think I charge? They say, what, like 100? And I'm like, nah, bro, it's 40, so and they get all ecstatic about it. And then they want to book with me and come see me. But it's funny because when I talk about the pricing and I troll sometimes and I try to make some points, a lot of barbers will look at some of the content I make and they take it as like, I don't want to see barbers getting paid higher prices for their haircuts. And it's like, that's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is like, we got to be better as barbers. We got to be better as barbers. And we can't get lost in this whole idea that just because we make one cool piece of content and we see all these other barbers making this content where it's talking about these high prices, that it's a sign for you to start charging high prices and know your worth when you're not even booked at the rate that you're at now.
Yeah. And I have no problem with premium pricing. I think supply and demand. I think I would be pissed off if a high-end restaurant didn't exist, because then I can't take my wife. Then I can't go Friday nights to a high-end restaurant. There's plenty of people. When I was charging $100, I had clients that followed me from $14 all the way to $100 a cut.
Yeah.
But it was based on demand. It was based on their perceived value of me. Not now, oh, I know my worth. It was my clients' perceived value of me. And some of those clients, they stopped coming to me frequently, but they would come to me on special occasions. And that was good enough. I'm not saying not to charge premium rates, but I think there's a process. Be smart about it. The same way I do with our haircuts, where we start at market rates and we give the best that we can, and we let demand force us to increase our prices. I do with the barbershops. So we start out at booth rent, and little by little with demand and with success. And if I can guarantee a barber can make 6 figures in their first year, then I'm going to charge commission. And you're not going to complain about it because you're happy you're making 6 figures. And part of the reason why you're happy you're making 6 figures is because I took some of that revenue and I poured it into marketing. I poured it into investing into you, into the shop, and growing it. And if you ever want to get into booth rent again, there is a roadmap for that. And I want you to be able to do that as well. It's just, we got to grow together to get there. You know what I mean?
I love it. I want to show you this because I want to hear, I mean, you answered it, but I want to hear you elaborate a little more, because I posted this the other day. Where is it? I put this and I put, it's a haircut I did. And I put one barber will charge 25 for this cut. Another would charge 50 for this cut. Another would charge 100 for this cut. What's the difference, right? For this same exact cut, barbers will charge 3 different prices, right? So, it's funny because some people misinterpret it and they're just like, well, it's some will pay more attention to detail than others. And I'm like, bro, I'm talking about the same exact haircut. What makes the difference between 25, 50 and 100? Because I wanted to get some good, conversation going, because I think one of the most uneducated things we say as barbers, or assumptions we make, are that the people that pay lower prices for haircuts don't care about their hair, right? Or they're not getting quality. It's like you said, like, you're doing market rate in your area and barbers are pumping out quality cuts. So to think that somebody, you get what you pay for, it's like, well, they're paying 25, 30 bucks for the same exact cut that another bar was charging 75 bucks for. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean they don't care about their hair. They want their hair to look good. They want it. They want to stay fresh. It's just, you know, they see an opportunity to save, and maybe they feel the experience is better or whatever. So they're going to the other barber. So, you know, with all that being said, my question to you, I know you said demand, but I would like you to go in a little bit on that. You know, what makes
Yeah.
that difference in your opinion, where one barber charges 25, one's 50, one's 100 for the same exact haircut?
I have some perspective on that. So this is all based on some data. We did some testing, and this is something I shared in the mentorship as well. And one of the things that we learned is, believe it or not, this is, I know it's going to sound crazy to most of you guys, but majority of people, and I'm talking about, you go to Walmart, you're going to see majority of people have no blurry fades. They all got haircuts, but trust me, they didn't go to Lowe's Cut It for a haircut. They went to Sports Clip, they went to Great Clips, they went to businesses that they feel safe going to. And that's the majority of customers. So if that's the majority of the addressable market to a barber, I wanted to figure out, how could I reach that more? Because I know that our services are better. I know that our quality is better. What is it that we're missing that these clients are not gravitating to? They're gravitating to these other businesses, right? And the facts don't lie. There's 5,000 Sports Clips and Great Clips out there, guys. They've been in business for a very long time, and they're always in the top 10 of the most successful franchises, right? Okay, what's going on here? So we ran a couple ads. I ran an ad for an individual barber, award-winning, crazy quality haircuts, blurry fades, all that. And then I ran an ad to just the barbershop brand, the inside of a barbershop, smiling barbers, brand, 7,000 reviews, right? When I tell you that it was the same ads as far as copy, the same exact audience, the same exact ad spend. The barbershop ad did double or triple the conversions that the individual barber ads did. And what I realized is that the majority of the market, they identify with the shop first. They want to go to a professional environment, something that is a barber shop first, and then they'll find their barber. And then another thing that I learned is, like, if a barber was to ever leave that was booked, they would leave. And then little by little, some of their old clients would come back.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, like 50% of their clients would come back, because they were so used to their routine of going to that shop location. And they built relationships with the barber next to the barber they were going to. And they built relationships with the barber that was across from that chair. Next thing you know, they're trying out one of the other barbers. Oh, you know, it's closer to home. I'm used to coming here. All of a sudden, they're talking about their favorite football team again. They're talking shit to the other barber again about you know, that barber being a fan of the. It's interesting how that happens, but barbers are they're just looking at from their perspective. They don't even realize what's going on in their clients' heads, and they don't realize that, yo, guys, like, what your clients want ain't necessarily what social media is preaching. So
yeah. I mean, bro, like, my clients for the longest, now they see it more because, again, the TikTok, but for the longest they weren't even hip on all of this barbers, gem talk, Marv stuff. They're booking with Marlon. You know what I mean? They don't care. I got, you know, 200,000 followers here, 500,000 there. They don't care. They got to get a haircut. They're on their lunch break. You know what I mean?
If most clients cared about the attention to detail, then why the hell is it that most clients can't even explain what cut they want?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Most of them can't even explain what haircut they want. You know what I mean? Like, and then they come up with these crazy names for stuff. You're like, what is that? You know, they don't know.
Yeah.
It's our job as professionals to give them the experience and to show them what sets us apart. But first, you got to reach them. And you're not going to reach them by bragging about $100 haircuts on Instagram.
Yeah. So what are some of your thoughts to the people that will say, well, bro, I mean, at the end of the day, the goal is to work smarter instead of harder. And if I could charge $75 a haircut, I could do less work and make the same amount of money. What do you say when you see that in the comment section?
I think I am working smarter than you. I think I'm working harder and smarter than you. I think, you know, and the proof is in the pudding. Look, I've seen so many barbers that their mentality is that, but that's not the only way that you work smarter, right? That's why I really care about KPIs so much. you know, the only way that barbers know to make more money in their heads is they got to raise their prices. But bro, first off, it takes you an hour to do a haircut. Can we get efficient first? Can we cut smarter first before we raise our prices? I bet you your income will go up, right? And then what about like actually nurturing your clients and trying to get them to, and informing them, educate them? Most customers, if you tell them, I mean, think about it, guys. How many times has a customer said, I hate this about my hair, boom, boom, boom. And then we solve it, right? And then they'll ask us, how often should I come back? And there'll be bars that be like, it's up to you. Stupid. They're trying to ask you for advice as the professional. Yeah. Tell them you should be coming back every 3 weeks. Matter of fact, you want to set a recurring appointment? I'll set you up. You usually come on Fridays, every Friday at 6 p.m. Is that cool? Yeah, that's cool. Why don't we do that type of stuff first before we raise our prices? And then when you're booked, we can raise our prices. And like with the flip of a switch, you just went from making 80K a year to 150, just like that. But first you made your business a great business. Then you raised your prices.
Yeah. I love it. I was talking to Will Stam about some of this stuff the other day, and I just, I thought it was interesting because I was thinking like, when you want to raise your prices, you want to improve, you say you want to improve the quality of your haircuts, your service and all of that. And I was thinking back to the time where, when some barbers first started raising their prices, the thing that separated them was like the enhancements, right? It's like, they're doing enhancements and stuff. And that was like kind of new. So they felt like I'm a more premium barber because I'm doing this and, other barbers aren't, right? So they raise higher prices, but it's like now, you find enhancements so many places now, it's not like that thing where it just doesn't exist anywhere anymore where it once did. I remember my shop was one of the first shops doing it in my area because I was going to the shows and stuff, and a lot of shops weren't going to the shows. They didn't know about the shows. They didn't know about it. So we were like the only shop. So, we benefited in those ways being the only shop, but now a lot of people do it. But I was saying how it's just like at the end of the day, like you were saying, it's all about building that demand and that perceived value. And it's, what are some of the ways that we do that now as barbers, right? It's we can rely on the traditional old school stuff, just being friendly, being personable, nurturing the clients, all of these things we've discussed on this live so far that will help us improve the service. And there's also that end where some of the social media barbers are benefiting too, because they're providing a shop experience that's like a viral experience, right? Like when I think of somebody like Nito, people are driving 5 hours to go see him because, and they'll pay whatever he wants to charge because there's that value, that demand, that value of going and sitting in his chair, making a cool video and things like that. It increases his value. It's the same thing with one of the barbers in my shop. He's phenomenal with the beard sculpting and he's crushing it on TikTok. So now he's got all these people driving these far distances coming to get that beard sculpted and shoot the video, with him. And they're paying him crazy high prices too, so that there is that the element of the social media thing that does add that demand that can help accelerate that process of getting to a higher price point. I just think one of the mistakes we're making as an industry is we're trying to fall back on that too much. We're trying to fall back on too much. And it's like, bro, you're overlooking all the other stuff that can help you booked up quicker and raise your prices quicker.
There's a million barbers. They can't all use that business model.
Yeah.
You can't all use that business model. And it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't know about you, Mark, but I get tired of making content, of thinking of the next idea and trying to stick to my cadence. And it feels like it owns me.
Yeah, for sure.
So like, I don't want that business model. What I started doing now is I just run ads and I let that work for me. I live my life and I let the ads do its thing. People are already used to getting advertised to. They expect it there. On my social media, I post whatever the hell I want. And I had guys flying to come see me once a month.
Yeah.
Like I remember having a client that worked at Delta and he lived in Houston. And he would use his buddy, his free passes or whatever, come to Tampa once a month and come get a cut. Like it's insane. Like I get that, but I didn't do anything fancy. Yeah. It was just like you said, perceived value.
Yeah. Content is a whole, like somebody said, content is a whole other job. Content is a lot. And content, everybody that has followed me for a while knows how much I love content, and I'm a huge advocate for it, but there's also that other perspective that I've been sharing a lot more recently, and I'm going to continue to share that, you don't necessarily have to be a content creator to be a booked up, busy barber and to make a lot of money and expand beyond the chair. Like, you don't have to do that. Bro, when you think about somebody like, Jay-Z doesn't even go on social media, right? Like, Lil Wayne's not even on social media. You know what I'm saying? There's so many people that some of the most wealthiest people aren't even on social media. So as barbers, for us to think that we absolutely have to become content creators, I think I'm, maybe part of that problem by being such a huge fan of social media, but I'm also trying to share, more of the thoughts of, bro, you don't necessarily have to do that. You could be booked up, busy, making as much money as you want to make from behind the chair and beyond without having to pick up a whole second job of becoming a content creator.
Let me show you something on my screen real quick, Marv.
I bet I'm gonna solo you.
Okay. So this ad right here, if any barber spent what's less than one haircut a day on ads. In the last call, I think in the last podcast we did, I think we talked about, I showed my the tracking sheet that I give all my students. Yeah. And I showed how all you need is 150 unique clients that visit you on average every 3 weeks, and you're 6 figures. And this is at $35 average tickets, which anyone can do. If you charge $25 for a haircut, $35 for beard, and you get tips, on average, you're probably gonna get $35. Most of you guys charge way more than that. So you're telling me that for $25 a day, less than the price of a haircut, for some of you, that's half the price of a haircut, I can get 25 new clients a week. That's what this is showing. 25 new bookings a week. I can run this ad for 90 days. And this is just that ad. What if we're running Google ads too? What if we're actually out there handing out business cards and promoting our business? Why couldn't we get booked in the next 90 to 120 days? Why couldn't we get booked in the next 6 months? But most of you guys don't do this stuff. And all this is pictures of haircuts. That's all it is. It's literally just pictures of haircuts. We're a barber, target your local area, 25 haircuts in a week. And most people don't get 25 walk-ins in a month. Mm-hmm. And they're struggling, and they don't realize, guys, there's way other ways. And the best part about that is all I got to do is create a piece of content one time, and it keeps making me money over and over and over again. Yeah. Sure, do the social media too, because that's how you test the right creatives that are going to do well on your ads. But you don't have to become a slave to content creation either.
No, and I love all of this information, and I hope you guys are picking up some gems and some new perspective. Let us know in the chat. Drop some gems if you feel like you're learning something. And I just actually hired somebody to help me more with ads too, so you're going to see me running a lot more ads.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't done that, and it's one of the areas that I need to get really good at. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm really good at organic.
I need you to take this. I'm gonna unlock it for you right now. I need you to take this course right here. I'm gonna show it to you. You know Dre? Mm-hmm. Dre on YouTube. You know how he has his course?
Yeah.
So he took this. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on. Took this course right here, the scale with meta ads. This course. It's not a lot. This is really like an hour long, like maybe an hour and a half long course. But we get straight to the point. I'll show you how to run ads, especially for courses. Yeah. Oh my gosh, bro. You will print. You will print with these ads. Yeah. Dre's killing it right now with these ads.
I love it. And that's the benefit of ads, for you guys that are tuning in, the huge benefit for ads is that, like Basio said, you create the content piece one time and you could just keep running it and have it keep reaching new people and drive in leads and customers and bring attention on what you're doing, right? Whereas when you're creating organic content, like if I create a content piece, Basio creates a content piece, typically it has a lifespan. And it could vary, right? Like if you have a great content piece, it could have a longer lifespan. It could, be popping up in the algorithm for a month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe. But a lot of the content you're going to create, as you guys have noticed from creating content, is only going to be in the algorithm for a couple of days, but then it's gone. You got to make a new piece, right? Where
especially on Instagram and TikTok, right?
Yeah. Where with TikTok's a little bit longer. That's why I love TikTok.
Yeah,
it does have a longer lifespan. YouTube has a longer lifespan too. But Instagram has that very short lifespan. But if you guys start diving into the ads world, you know, you guys can create good pieces of content that you just put some money behind, and then you just you pay, and it pumps it out for you, starts getting attention on what you're doing, starts driving you a new business, and next thing you know, your business is growing. So I appreciate you showing me that part of the mentorship.
The
And
other
this is,
perk,
before you
the
talk,
other
before you
perk
talk,
too.
don't lose,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
don't lose your thought.
My
Hold
bad,
your
my bad.
thought. Hold your thought. But because I want to make sure I say to you guys, like, this is the value. This is the value in what Bossio is doing. You know, this is just a small percentage of it, but like him showing me this meta ads course that could change everything for me. Like this is information I don't know like that. And so much of it I'm not going to know. And I know y'all tuning in, y'all don't know that either. So when you think about just investing a little bit of money to join a mentorship, to six-figure barber mentorship, like some of you guys might get weirded out by hearing the name because you're like, oh, it's just another one of six-figure barber scam things. Bro, like, he's teaching how to run meta ads to drive in business. Like, I don't care what you're going to spend to sign up, whatever the price is at the time you guys see this, it's going to be worth it as long as you utilize the resources that are going to be given to you, and you take the information and you actually apply it. Because like Bossio is saying, and like I'm trying to reiterate to you guys, especially when it comes to ads, if you can get that right, it basically turns into something where you create a content piece once and you can turn it into a money printing machine. So I just needed to say that before you went into your thought. I hope you didn't lose it.
There's a few points that I want to add to that. The benefits of it. Number one, with my organic social media, I hate selling. I hate selling.
Yeah, I hate it too.
You know, but with ads, people expect it. So would you rather, like, I see people running ads all the time that are obviously scams, that obviously aren't adding that much value. So why not get into that area and actually offer something that's valued? Number one. The other thing is, I know this is kind of off topic, but guys, the points. Most of you guys don't realize, like, you are investing in yourself, but you're getting a return from it if you're using the right system. So I use my credit card points, and my credit card points, I get 3 to 5x ad spend. So if I spend $25 a day on ads, right, and you multiply that times 3 to 5, you can take a vacation every quarter paid for just by running your business better. It's an ecosystem. At this point, I got millions of points, over 1.5 million points right now. I can go, any of my travel, it's paid for just by running my business. And the third thing that I wanted to bring up is the value you bring to your loved ones. One of my best friends, he was my best man in my wedding. He opened a pool company. What do you think I'm going to do for him and his pool cleaning business? Mm-hmm. Tomorrow I'm meeting up with 2 friends. One owns a motorcycle repair business. Another one owns a jet ski repair business. They just got on Google Business. I'm going to start running ads for them as well. It's going to be life-changing for them. I add value to the people that I love the most, and I add value to my community. But with this knowledge that I know, it's not like most people take this information and keep it to themselves, but I genuinely enjoy doing this. And it's something that I can also give to somebody else and share with somebody else and change their lives.
Yeah. One of the things I love, because I've seen a couple people commented on Instagram and on here, is they say, you know, or you can just go on YouTube and you can learn that for free, right? Or you can learn how to run meta ads for free. And my first thought when I hear that is, okay, then why the hell aren't you doing it then? Like, why aren't you doing it then? If you could come on a live and you can say, well, you could just learn it for free. Why haven't you done it yet? Why aren't you executing it? Why aren't you implementing it? You know what I mean? Like,
Marv, did somebody commented that on your post, and the first question I asked them, okay, what booking app are you using? Because that tells me everything I need to know. Yeah. You cannot run ads with every booking app. They don't allow you to do conversion tracking. And ads operate, especially in 2024, almost 100% on machine learning, on AI, on the data you feed the ad platforms. So if you're on a, and he didn't answer the question because he knew it was a gotcha moment. Yeah. I didn't want to, but I just want to, like, stop talking shit, guys. Yeah. If you ain't already doing it, then you're full of shit. And it's like, you're letting your ego get in the way. It's okay to be humble and say you need to learn some shit.
Yeah, that's a fact. And then the other thought I have always is, you know, because, yeah, sure, there is truth to that. You can learn so much on YouTube for free, right? You can learn a lot on YouTube for free, but there's also that part where you don't know what you don't know. So even if you could learn it on YouTube for free, there's things you don't even know what to search in order to learn that thing for free, because you just don't know what you don't know, right? So you can't necessarily learn everything on YouTube for free. To that extent.
Marv, why would you want to? Why would you want to let's say you start running the ads, implementing things and breaking things and stuff. Before you know it, you've been spending $25 a day for 120 days, and you're not getting the results you saw somebody else getting.
Yeah.
When you could have just paid for his $300 course or his $200 course and learned the shit and not made those mistakes. It costs you more.
Yeah, exactly.
It's mind blowing. I buy courses all the time.
Yeah. Oh my God. Right. How many have you invested in? I buy one all the damn time. Some I haven't even opened yet.
Dude, before I started Pie Accounting, I wanted to make sure I served our barbers the best I could. I knew my stuff, don't get me wrong, but I knew my stuff for myself. But how do you actually do it for other people? I paid $30,000 for a mentorship. 1 year access. That's all it was 1 year access to learn the ins and outs of one of the most successful accounting firms in LA. The guy's mom founded it. He took it over and he started offering a mentorship. And I took it, and I'm not going to say it was worth every penny, but for me it was, because I was at a place in my life where it was worth that 30 grand to learn that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%, because you're going to make it back exponentially.
I've made it back. We have 300 clients now. Do the math on that. Like, and it's not that it's just another, for me, it's not like it's a wealth building thing. We pour everything back into the business. We're at 24 employees now. So we plan on continue to grow Pie Accounting, but like, that's an investment in yourself. How many, and to piggyback off of ads, how many barbers went into the whole crypto wave and stuff like that? And I did too, and I made some money off of it. But the amount of time that people spent learning about crypto and putting their money into meme coins and all that stuff, if you would have done it in your own profession, going from, I don't know, making 50K a year to 80K a year, where you're not getting that type of ROI, that $30,000 growth in 1 year, you're not getting that type of, for the rest of your life, you're not getting that type of ROI everywhere. But we glorify these things as if that's what you need to be focused on, when the low hanging fruit is right here. It's just not sexy. It's just not viral,
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. Another thing I would add about the whole, like, the learning all the stuff on YouTube for free thing is also, you don't get the community and family element with it when you're learning on YouTube. So in other words, like, if you go on YouTube and you watch, how to do meta ads or whatever, if you got questions, what's the best you can do most of the time? Leave a comment and hope the person replies back to you. And most of the time they're not going to. And how much can they really communicate through a comment on YouTube? Whereas when you are doing something like the Six Figure Barber Mentorship, where there's all of these calls and live things where people
every
can
night,
ask questions,
every day, sometimes twice a day. It's too much. It's almost too much.
Right. So it's like, you can go through the meta ads course, be confused about something, tune into one of the live calls, ask the questions, and have it clarified right there, either from Basi or from one of the other teachers or one of the other barbers who are in the family. Like, think about it. I'm in the family. So you could leave a comment, trying to figure out something with social media. Basio can reply. The teachers can reply. Then Marv could swoop in and leave his 2 cents. So there's just so much value in having a community and family that you're not going to get by just watching YouTube and trying to learn everything on YouTube for free.
Marv, I'm sure you've seen some of the threads where somebody comments, post something like, "Hey guys, I don't know what to do. I'm really, stuck. I'm really stuck. I feel like, quitting," and boom, boom, boom. And they tell their story. And then right in that same thread, you got 10 comments of people who've been through the same thing. And they're there to give their perspective to the guy who might have not had that and would have quit. Like, we are all human. We need that stuff. Like, we all go through ups and downs. I had the worst year ever last year, and Marv will come check in on me, like, randomly all the time. Most people don't have that. So tap into a community where everyone's looking for that, and they're also giving it, There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, invest in yourself, guys. I think the highest return you're going to get on investment is by investing into yourself, investing into your
Best return.
mindset, investing into your resources, investing into your skill set, and investing into relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like we blow so
Real
much
ones.
money on so much dumb stuff. It's like, bro, what are we doing? You know, and when I say relationships, for example, guys, I remember back when I was going to the Connecticut Barber Expo for years. And then I finally got to the point where I'm like, I want to do an event in my city. I want to do my own. So what did I do? I DM'd Jay Majors, didn't know him from a hole in a wall. And, you know, asked him, like, how could I go about it? Is it possible to hire him type of thing? And he said, yeah, he would be willing to host it. And he charged me a fee. I'm sure his fee's a lot more now, but he charged me a fee that even at that time, I'm new to this whole Barbering Expo thing. I'm thinking it's a lot. But I'm like, bro, this dude is doing the biggest barbering show in that I've been to. It's dope. I want to do something like it. I'm just going to pay. We're going to pay to do it. So we paid him. He hosted it. He consulted. He helped out. We had a successful show. You know, you fast forward to today, I got a great relationship with Jay, right? But how did that relationship start? It started by me paying him, like hiring him. Like you could argue that I bought my way into that relationship that from that day moving forward, it's so many amazing opportunities have blossomed from it. And it wouldn't have happened if I was one of them people that was like, man, who he think he is? I ain't paying for that. Like,
Oh my God.
you're a barber. Like, you're not a rapper, you know? So I say all that because, guys, there's so many ways that you can invest into yourself and into your brand, into your career, and you know, relationships. Invest into those. Invest in your skill set, your mindset, your tool set, resources. That's what's going to take you to the next level.
I also think that mentality comes from people worshiping money way too much.
Yeah.
Money to me is just a tool. That's all. It's
Can
a
you
tool.
explain that? Because I feel like that was a huge life-changing moment for me once I realized that money is a tool. So when you say it's a tool, how can you explain that in the most simplified way to blow people's minds and help them look at money totally different from this moment moving forward?
You know, I'm going to go back to talking about why, right? Why that book is so important. And so, like, why do you want more money? And just keep asking yourself that until you've come to the root of all of it. And it's always my loved ones, my family, their future. It's never selfish for me. And I realized that, you know, for other people, it's the same thing. But at the same time, like, money at the end of the day has no value. Right? Like, we know that, right? We know that the Federal Reserve prints that shit and it's literally just like points. It's a virtual currency. And so like, I'm not going to die thinking about the money that I had. I'm not going to die with taking money with me to the kingdom, right? I ain't doing that either. And so what I realize is money's just a tool to accomplish certain things that you're trying to accomplish, hit certain goals that you're trying to hit. And so, like, if that means I can buy time with it, then that's what I want to do, right? So time to me is the most important thing. And I realized that, look, if I want consulting with Jay, and I've gone consulting with Jay, we got to fly him out. That takes money. He's going to lose time away from his business that makes money, that supports his family, that is also part of whatever his why is. And he can't lose out on that either. So it's a win-win for me to give him some of this bread so that he can take away some time from doing what he's focused on, because he runs real businesses too, to come talk to me. And it's a win-win for everybody. It's just money at the end of the day. It's just paper at the end of the day. And what I realized is when I started looking at it that way, what am I really missing from that money? A new car? Another trip? I don't need any more of that. What I really want to do is accomplish certain things. And if one of those tools to accomplish that, and almost always is money, then go get more of it and go spend it on the things that you need. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand where this whole, you know, perspective that you're evil if you need money to go do something. Like,
Yeah,
it blows my mind. I don't have like a great analogy for it, but I can tell you that shift in my mind of not chasing money and instead looking at my why, what my goals are, and chasing that, and then just using as a tool to get there. You know, and not everybody's going to have that tool. Sometimes your biggest asset, your biggest tool is going to be your sweat equity. And it was that for me for a long time. Shit, I used to make
What
our
is sweat
shade gel
equity
in
for
my kitchen.
people who have never heard that term before?
It's putting in the blood, sweat, and tears and the time yourself when you don't have money. And then when we started Tune 45, I used to make our shade gel, hand pump it into bottles. Me and my team, guys who were my clients, who are now barbers, who are now helping me run the company, were in the backyard with me, mixing with a drill and hand pumping, and our wives would come over and hand label. That's sweat equity. And then it got to a point where, you know what? My biggest asset now is more so time. I have the tool of money that I can buy that time back and go contract that out, and not have to go and pump the gel myself and mix the gel myself. Now I can hire somebody else to go do that. I provided more jobs. I'm going to be able to reach more people, and all it took was some money to do it. I'll use the money before I use more of my time.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I remember somebody broke that down to me in a way that changed my life. I heard this guy speaking. I'm probably going to butcher the story, but I'll try to at least drive home the point. But he was saying that, you know, he needed his lawn mowed, and he paid like a kid $60 to do it. Right. And most people would say, well, why are you going to pay the kid $60 to mow the lawn when you could just mow the lawn and you can save the $60 yourself? And he goes on he shares this long story, but he gets to the point where he says, you know, he hops on business calls where he's making $500, you know, $1,000, you know, whatever, $5,000. He's making a lot of money on these business calls. So his point was that, you know, it's going to take him an hour, 2 hours to mow the lawn. In that hour, 2 hours, he could make, you know, thousands of dollars. Whereas if he's mowing the lawn, right, he's not going to be able to make that money. So for him, he'd much rather trade the $60 to have somebody else do it. So now he has that time to hop on these calls and do these things that can ultimately make him thousands, right? So for me, a shift for me was in a similar sense, right? Like say with selling digital products or something, you know, I've went live and had people sign up for my social media course, right? So in the same sense for me, if I'm doing just a couple $100 course, for example, and I go live and for an hour and I could sell 5 of them and make $1,000, it's more beneficial in a lot of ways for me to just pay somebody to mow my lawn. So that way I can take that same time and go live and make a lot more money. Right. So it was an eye-opening moment for me, because I'm like, yo, that is so true. Like, you know, you got to focus on investing your time into certain things that are going to have such higher rewards for you, and then use the money as the tool to like delegate and have other people do the stuff. And it like made me look at money, you know, so much different.
That and now you got free time to learn some new shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, and grow, and you can continue to grow, because if you're the leader in your, you know, in your circle and stuff, like, you're blazing trails for people who are following you. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and a lot of it too is like, you know, if we're not where we want to be, or we're not making the money we want to make, it's typically one or two things. We either just lack the information that we need to know to do it, or we're just not putting in the work. We're knowing a lot but not doing a lot, right? So it's like, bro, if you're not where you want to be or making the amount of money that you want to make, you might have to take some of that money and invest it into something that is going to help you get that knowledge to know what you got to do to make that more money. And then you got to, you know, put in that work. And with something like the 6-figure barber mentorship, bro, they spent, what is it, $99 a month, Basio? Is what it is?
Cancel anytime. Yep, $99 a month, cancel anytime.
Bro, it's like, okay, if you guys are charging $40, you guys are charging $100 a cut, right? That's what you all charge. But nah, you're charging, you know, let's say $30 a cut, and your average ticket is $40. It's like, what if you were to get, all you need to get is 3 new clients over the course of a month to make that money back that you're spending to invest into the mentorship? Bro, and it's like, you think you're not going to get 3 new clients over the course of a month after joining the 6-figure barber mentorship?
Man, I will give you your money back. You can cancel. I will refund you. I will guarantee you will have an ROI. I will cancel your membership if you don't and refund you. There's zero risk.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, if you just consume Basio's free content and implement what he says for free, you're going to be able to get 3 new clients a month. So just imagine what you can learn.
You're missing a piece though, and you touched on it, Marv. Like, just because you have the information doesn't mean you're going to implement it the right way. And we've had people come into the mentorship and they learned some stuff from me for free on YouTube. And it might be the free haircuts campaign that everybody's always talking about, right? We run those free haircut campaigns, but when they come into the mentorship, they say, yeah, but it didn't work for me because, okay, what did you do? Well, I did this. Okay, so you didn't word it right. You didn't target the right audience. You didn't look at the demographics, number one. Number two, how many cards did you hand out? I did 20 this week. That's it? Bro, this guy just got 30 new clients this week from this campaign. He handed out 500. Like, it gives you, it puts you in a place where your surroundings has raised the standard. It's not the same as in the barbershop where 20 haircuts, 20 cards handed in a week is the most out of everybody.
You the man. Yeah.
You the man. You come into this community and you're like, oh shit, there's levels. Now I see why these guys are growing so quickly. So there's that angle too, that like they say, you know, you're a lot of people will say you're only as strong as your weakest link. I don't believe that. I think that if you're following if you're following the strongest leader that you can, somebody that's willing to spend time with you and coach you, man, that's all the support that you really need.
I love it. Basio, how much time you got?
However much time you need, man.
Because what I'm thinking, if you guys are with it, we could just take some questions. Maybe, I don't know, do 15, 20 minutes of questions, and then we can wrap it up. Guys, if you want more info on the Six Figure Barber mentorship, this is the link. So if you want to screenshot that, you can go to it. Or if you just go in the description of the video, it's in there now, and it will be in there moving forward. He's got it priced at $99 a month right now, and I can promise you, bro, he's selling it for way too low. He's selling it for way too low.
It's not going to be that price forever. So what we're going to do is, once we hit 1,000 members, we're gonna close the monthly payments, and it's only going to be annual, just so that we can stabilize. We can focus on the students that we have, and then we'll just do it annual, and then we'll open it up some other time for the $99 a month again. So
I'm telling you guys, based on the little bit that I've been through so far, I buy courses and online classes and stuff like that. I'm the worst. I love like learning stuff. So, you know, if I feel like I'm learning from somebody for free and they're teaching me in a way I understand, and they got some online digital products that they offer, I'm always buying something. So I'm just like the worst, right? I spend a lot of money on that. And when I see what is being included in this mentorship, what he's teaching, and knowing what I've spent to learn information that wasn't as good as what he's teaching in this mentorship, it's just like, bro, he's definitely not charging enough. He's keeping it super affordable, and he's doing it because he wants to help beginner barbers.
There's a million barbers, Marv. There's a million barbers.
Yeah, bro.
We've only tapped in with 800. I see the results. I see the data, and I want to impact more people. I want more people to get these results. So
yeah, let me see some of the questions that I had starred. See if we can answer some of them.
Okay.
Here's one, little left field, but a great question. What's a good insurance play people that have a family and want to barbering full time? So I'm thinking they're trying to figure out the insurance aspect of it. What were your thoughts?
Yeah. So the first thing that I tell my guys, man, is to get term life insurance. That's saving the game right away. So whatever your goals are, whatever your dreams are, you sit down with your family, and you just know you're going to have a sacrifice for a season. But the first thing you're going to tell them is, I'm going to buy this term life insurance for however much it is to pay off all the debt in case I get hit by a bus. Because we're going to sacrifice, and it might not be guaranteed that I'm alive tomorrow. So I'm going to get this life insurance, and this is the plan with it. Okay, let's say it's $1 million in coverage, and it costs you $60-$70 a month. All right. For some of you guys, you might only need 100,000, and because you don't have a spouse. But guess what? If you were to get hit by a bus tomorrow, somebody's got to cover those funeral expenses. Somebody's got to, cover some stuff. And so you got to leave something behind for your loved ones to be able to take care of you. You know what I mean? And that might cost you $20 a month, $15 a month. It makes no sense not to have that. But at least you're saving the game. You're guaranteeing that you're going to leave something behind. The next thing I would do is, you got to go get health insurance. And for most of you guys, the sooner that you get it, the cheaper it's going to be. The healthier that you are, the cheaper that it's going to be. For my people in California, you're going to pay the most out of everybody with health insurance. If You get with the right agent, they might be able to show you some gray areas where you'll pay less. But that's a risk that you got to take on yourself. But I can tell you, like for my students, for top notch, the best insurance, 10 free doctor's visits, very zero copay, max out of pocket 3K a year, for your whole for an individual, anywhere from $100 to $200 a month. From $100 to $200 a month. For some of you guys, that's 3 haircuts. That's 4 haircuts for the entire month, and you have health coverage now. Okay. The next step would be to have some type of disability insurance, like Aflac or something like that. So if you something was to happen, you break your leg, break your arm, get hurt, you can't be in the shop for a few weeks, you have some supplemental income to help you out. Okay. The 3 main policies that I would make sure that I have. The last one would be liability insurance, especially if you are booth rent. Okay. If you're a booth rent barber, you're an independent contractor. You cut somebody or something like that, you should have some liability insurance. And most of the time that shit costs like $100 a year for like $1 million in coverage. So you guys should have all 4 of those. And for all 4 of those, you're looking at, for an individual, maybe $300 a month, maybe. And if that seems expensive, it's because you ain't making enough money. You too busy trying to worry about what you're charging per haircut.
Yeah, facts. You making $10,000 a month, $12,000 a month and more. 300 ain't really gonna ain't gonna hurt you.
And look, your
employer
employers
a lot more in the long run if you don't spend that money.
Yeah, and I've had W-2 jobs. Guess what? If you're an S corp, you're good. You're pretty much, if you're an S corp, what you save in employee taxes in FICA pretty much covers your health insurance. Now, a lot of people don't know that. When you run the numbers on a spreadsheet, if you're an S corp, pretty much that covers your health insurance in the money you're saving from FICA or employee taxes if you're a W-2 employee.
And trust me, guys, you can learn some of this. You're hearing it and you're like, yo, that sounds good, but it's a little confusing. The clarity is going to be when you sign up for the mentorship, man. You guys sign up for the mentorship. Again, the link is in the description of this video. Let me put it on screen real quick before I go to the next question, just so you guys can see. That's where you're going to get more info. Screenshot that, and y'all need to join. Come join the family tonight, bro. Stop playing. Be an action taker.
Let's go.
Stop playing. Somebody says, does a mentorship work for someone that lives in a small city of 12,000 people?
You need 150 unique clients.
So what does that mean in the simplest terms?
It works everywhere. We have people in smaller towns than you in the middle of nowhere, Mississippi. Todd is an example. Todd started a program 2 or 3 years ago. He lives in population 10,000, middle of nowhere, Mississippi. He owns his own barbershop. He invested in a 2-unit piece of property, and he clears $10,000 a month in a small town. It doesn't, like, more clients helps everyone. Doesn't matter if you're in a small town, doesn't matter if you're in a big city, doesn't matter if you're in China. If you can get more clients, you will do better.
Yeah, that's a fact. And when you say 150 unique clients, what do you mean by unique?
So we're big on nurturing. We're big on retention. I'm big on being that neighborhood barber, that barber that has clients that are loyal, that bring their kids, their cousins, their friends, that invite you to their wedding, that on the holidays bring you a nice big bottle of the most expensive tequila, that type of vibe, right? I'm big on that. And so we identify a walk-in as the barbershop's customer, the barbershop's client. If they've come to the shop twice, they're a customer. They're no longer a walk-in, they're a customer. If they've been to you 3 times within a year, they are your unique client. And so that's somebody that's sticking to you, that's loyal to you. Now it's time to nurture them and give them the best experience possible, and the money will come. So you need 150 unique clients. Most of you guys have more than that. A lot of guys come into our program and they got 300, 400, 500 unique clients, but they don't nurture them.
Love that. Super, super dope info. Somebody says, where was that question? What's your advice? How to get from 45-minute cuts to 30-minute cuts? They trying to get themselves a raise.
Yeah. You don't have to get to 30 minutes, but obviously, to me, that's the sweet spot. That's what I did. I'm sure Marv is in that wheelhouse, and most barbers get to that point. I think. I mean, that was at least my reality when I was coming up as a barber. And the first thing that I tell people is, you know, one of the things that helped me was actually recording my cuts and looking at how many times I do specific things that just add up. Looking for shit, going over the same spot over and over and over again, not using my mirror, not using my chair. I would look at it and be like, damn, there's at least 30 things that I could improve on in a haircut that would probably cut me down 5 minutes at least. But that 5 minutes times a couple hundred clients in a month, that's thousands and thousands of dollars a year that you're missing out on. What helped me was that, and then the other thing was I started putting a reminder on my Google Calendar that would tell me 10 minutes before the next customer was coming in. And so my system was to get through my system in the first 20 minutes. And as soon as that 10-minute timer comes off, I know I need to start detailing and closing this cut because my customer's coming in 10 minutes. And it would just be a little ring, a little vibration or a little ding, some shit like that would come from my phone, and I would speed it up. And it still wouldn't make me on time. But for me, being on time all the time means you're too comfortable.
Yeah, facts.
When you're not on time a few times a day and you just manage it, you won't believe by just texting your clients, hey, your next client, hey, I'm running 5 behind, just a heads up. That goes a long way and you'll catch up at some point. But by doing that, you make yourself uncomfortable and you will meet your goal. So maybe it's not 45 to 30, but first it's 45 to 40. Then it's 40 to 35. Yeah. And before you know it, you're at 30 without even a timer. It just becomes your new routine.
Yeah, that's one of the things I always tell people. I said, you know, when you look at from 45 to 30, that's a big jump. Just try to knock off 2 minutes a week. You know, even if you did 1 minute a week, right? If you went from 45 to 44, it'd take you, 15 weeks? That's a couple months, right? And you're going from 45 to 30. So you can knock 2 minutes off a week. Just try 43 minutes this whole week. Then the next week, try 41 minutes the whole week. And just being observant, like, of the clock is going to speed you up. And I love that idea of the timer. Like, that's brilliant. I got to start telling people that because that's super helpful. Because once that timer goes off, it's like, oh, it's a reminder. And it just keeps it in sight. You know, it's sometimes out of sight, out of mind. If you're just too in the conversation, you're too into what you're doing and you forget to look up at the clock, you kind of can lose track of time. You start dragging the cutout. But just, be observant of the clock, knock a couple minutes off a week and you'll get there. Somebody said, about to open a shop. Should I get in the mentorship right now?
Bro, yes. Yes. Like I went to open up an accounting firm. So I learned from somebody who had the best accounting firm. I'm not saying I got the best shop, but learn from somebody before you put your life savings into something. Take that risk. Be prepared. Be better prepared. Go hire a coach. Every professional athlete, the freaking president, gets prepared. They hire advisors. They hire coaches to be prepared. Prepare yourself.
Yeah, no, you can save a lot of money by spending the money up front now because
we're talking you got the money for a shop. It's $99. You're not even gonna notice it.
Yeah, facts. Shout out to Colton for what they call super chat or badge or something.
Let's
go. Appreciate you. He put you
using money like a tool.
Yeah, facts. You have to touch on a good commission number with providing value such as booking janitor, drinks for clients or receptionists. What is a good percentage with a busy shop? What's your opinion on that?
I don't know. I can show you what I do. And I provide these sheets for everybody, right? Like we have tracking sheets for the individual barber, for the barber, for commissions. And what I'll typically do is I'll just look at, see if I can find it. I might have brought up the wrong sheet. Yeah, I might have brought the wrong sheet. But I have another sheet where what I do is I look at the individual barber first. I try to make sure, like, I reverse engineer their situation. And we look at things like, you know, what would the commission rate? Let me see if it's worth me finding this real quick.
Yeah.
And so we just try to reverse engineer as much as we can and make sure that it's a win-win for everybody. Right. And so if I could find it, I can't find it, but essentially, as a matter of fact, let me show you the bomb real quick, and I'll show you guys exactly what we do. All right, I'm gonna give you guys our exact commission model real quick. Hold on. All right, you guys can see my screen. So you guys can see here The first step is launching your career as a barber. And the first thing that we're saying here is we're speaking vision into our barbers. Begin your journey with us by building your clientele and refining as a self-employed barber at our shop. You have a great opportunity to maximize your earnings while paying a revenue share to the barbershop based on your total sales. So we don't word it as commission. We word it as a revenue share. This is a partnership, because by going through this right here, everything we're going to do and provide as a company to support you in your career. And so it's a revenue share where in the beginning we get more of a cut, because we have to take that money and make sure that you are successful, right? And so the first $1,000 we charge 25%. The next $1,000 we charge you 20%. It works just like the progressive tax code, right? And then the next 2,000 to 2,500, so that $500 you pay 10%, and anything over 2,500 you're capped. You pay 0 commission. So this is breeding. This is exemplifying that we're in it. We want to win too with you, but if the more successful you become, the more you keep. And then from there, and so we have some key points where we talk about it. But look, if you want to become a booth rent barber, you either got to become a veteran or you got to be a founding father to become booth rent. And what founding father pretty much means is if we open a new location, you're willing to move there and take the risk and rebuild. You're grandfathered in at booth rent, because you took a risk. And so you build your clientele back up. And by the way, most of our barbers move and they keep most of their clients because we open shops every 3 to 5 miles. So for example, from our Brandon location, we opened up Bloomingdale. 4 barbers went over there. So that barbershop is breaking even day one. It's not burning cash like most barbershops do. We can easily replace the 4 barbers that left because that barbershop's already walk-in city. So we can replace all 4 chairs and they're all going to make money. But then the 4 barbers that left, their first week, we have the data, the slowest barber there made $2,000 their first week. So it's a win-win. That's what we're trying to provide, a win-win-win for everybody. But now those 4 barbers went from commission, where most of them were making over $3K. So they weren't paying much in commission compared to what most commission models do. But this allows us to have the funds we need to snowball that faster, to get the ball rolling faster and put them in a situation where they might be paying more upfront, but look at how quickly they can get to 2,500 plus with this model, with having these resources and partnering with somebody that knows what they're doing, right? Because let's say you're not paying 20. Think about it, Marv. How much of my income would I have to pay somebody to run these ads for me?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. You just hired an agency, probably a homeboy hooking you up, but most people don't have that network. And so most people would have to pay a lot more than 25% of their first $1,000 to get someone to run ads for them.
Yeah.
To make sure that their chair is full. So you're getting an entire team to back you up for this. Oh, and by the way, you can become a booth rent barber. By the way, you can become a manager and have discounted rent. By the way, you can become a partner and an owner in a shop. And then you can become an owner of multiple locations, like something that Jordan's doing right now. So this is our exact business model, and that's just the mindset behind it. And why we do it. We just want to make sure it's a win-win-win for everyone. We want 6-figure barbers. We want successful barbershops that grow and expand with or without my leadership. And we want no ceilings for any of our leaders, so they don't have to leave our brand to feel like they're growing.
Barbers, I hope you see the value, man. If you can't see the value in what is going on over here on this Gem Talking with Chris Basio in the Tune 45 and the 6-figure barber mentorship, I don't know, man. You might, I don't know. I didn't want to say that, but anyway, what does your hiring process look like?
So I let our managers do all the hiring, but they base it on what I used to do for hiring, and it would just be, let's go have lunch, let's go have dinner, and I just talk to the guy, talk to the girl, and I never needed them to show me a damn haircut, because people can learn how to cut hair. And we've had some bad haircutters that have grown into our best barbers, and we've had some bad haircutters that I would never let cut my hair, and they become the busiest barber in the shop, and they still suck at cutting hair. You know what I mean? I've lost clients to barbers like that. I realized real quick that this is not a barber battle. Okay, I'm not a judge at a barber battle. So what I did was what I focus on is, what is that barber's goals, right? What is it that they're trying to accomplish? It might be that they want to work 5 days a week. They want to be the last one in, the first one out, and they want to be there to be able to coach their kids' games on the weekend. And that's fine. It might not be okay at my location in Tampa Palms because it's walk-in city and we need somebody to be there, but it might be okay at our new Tampa location, which is not, but let me give you a different example. At our Bexley location where, I don't know, it's covered, it might not need somebody there all the time. And then also, okay, so you'll work in that environment, we'll hire you, that works. But I also, as long as I feel like you can win in our environment, you're probably gonna, and you tell me what it is that you're honest, you tell me what to expect. Because at the end of the day, you're an independent contractor. If you tell me you're gonna work Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5 every day, and that's your schedule, and we agree with that, I can't tell you to do any more than that. That was our contractual agreement. You're an independent contractor. We agree to that. And that works in some of my locations. That's why I like having multiple locations, having bigger shops, because we have that flexibility when we're hiring people. And so having that mindset, it's pushed me to actually grow more, to have bigger shops, to make more money. Because if I want to be able to hire most barbers, who aren't all trying to be, the next Bossy or the next Marv, then I need to create a platform that will help those type of barbers. And so when we're hiring people, I just want to make sure you're good. You shouldn't be high, falling asleep during a job interview, right? Your values, I want to hear about your values. I want to hear about your goals. I want to hear about what you like doing on the weekends. I just want to make sure you're going to be a right fit in that environment. And I can usually do that in an hour, hour and a half, eating lunch or dinner.
Yeah. Barbers. Whole bunch of game. How about how to go about handling taxes?
So what I tell barbers is, if you're making less than $45,000 a year or $4,000 a month, okay, if you're making less than that, your taxes aren't really that anything to deal with. Just make sure you separate your business from your personal. Have a bank account that is on. It doesn't have to be a business bank account. It can be a personal account that you treat as a business account, and all your money from your business goes in there. All your expenses come out, and then you pay yourself from that business account to your personal, and all your personal things you pay from that account. Just have them separated. You can go to a bank and get financing just from that. A bank can underwrite you a loan just by having those things separated. But the moment you start commingling, then they can't help you. So that's the first step. And then paying taxes is nothing, because there's not really much at that income that a tax strategist can help you with. So you're going to be paying your effective tax rate of 12, 15, 20%, whatever it is in your state. And you can TurboTax that, if I'm keeping it a buck with you. But the moment you start going over $4,000 a month, that's when it gets serious, and you can literally save yourselves a lot of money. And that's when taxes start becoming the most expensive thing in your life. Like I don't pay small tax bills. I pay multiple six-figure tax bills. This is why the rich care so much about taxes, because it's literally my biggest expense in my life. I don't even spend that on my lifestyle. The IRS makes more money than I make off of my own money. And so for most barbers, it's the same thing. You'll be surprised how many barbers are making 100,000. They go do their taxes and they're shocked that they got a $30,000 tax bill. Well, it's because you never did anything about it, and you have no business doing anything about it. That would be like telling your customer to learn how to cut their own hair. How long is it going to take you to do that? And then you got to stay on top of it, because tax laws change every year. When we vote, new politicians are trying to pass new bills. You're really going to keep up with that on your own? I would hire that out after $4,000 a month. Go find an accountant, find a CPA, make sure there's somebody that is going to care about your goals, somebody that is going to actually care about tax strategy and trying to save you more money. And then you should just be focusing on making more money, where your accountants are focused on keep helping you keep more money. And that's how I would handle taxes.
Love it, love it, love it. So here's what I'm going to say. Barbers, if you've enjoyed this conversation, take a screenshot. If you're watching this on your phone, take a picture if you're watching it on your TV, and share it to your story. So that way me and Basio can show you some love. And I just want to ask you right here, right now, do you feel like you got value out of this conversation? Do you feel like Basio over-delivered? Do you feel like you learned something? Do you feel like you're going to be able to get off of this live and implement some stuff that maybe you didn't know? If the answer to those questions are yes, flood the chat with some gems, bro. Flood the chat with some gems. Let us know if we did our job. What I'll also say is this. Let me show this real quick. Also, if you feel like you learned a lot and got a lot of value, here's where you got to go. All right. I've linked it on the screen. You can't click that, but you can click the link in the description of this video. All right. This is where you're going to go. There's 680 members so far. 13 are online right now. This is the 6-figure barber mentorship. This is where you're going to go. You're going to sign up. The price is going to change once they hit 1,000 members. I'm in there. Bassio's in there. There's a lot of dope people in there. It's $99 a month, guys. That's 2 haircuts a month. You're going to trade 2 haircuts a month, maybe 1 haircut. I'm sure you got a client that pays you $100, right? You got at least one. There's 1 haircut a month you're going to trade to learn so much stuff. If you guys think you learned a lot on this short gem talk, just imagine how much you're going to learn in this mentorship. Just imagine a class.
Can I add something, Marv?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I saw a comment where somebody was like, Basio, can you speak on all the people who are saying that, you know, you're just a guy who makes a bunch of money from selling courses, and that's how I make my money, and then, you know, I sell my courses. Guys, I could literally stop this course. I can shut it down right now. I can shut down my Instagram and my YouTube channel. Marv is not a stupid person. He can see the people who genuinely do this because they enjoy doing it. I love doing this. I don't have to do this shit. Stop chasing away people who genuinely are offering value to you guys. I'm pouring more money into this. I'm building tools and softwares for you guys. I'm genuinely trying to elevate the industry. That is my why. I don't need more shit, guys. I don't need that. So there's very few times where you can find an opportunity that's $99 a month. You can cancel anytime. It's guaranteed. If you don't like it, you can hit me up, DM me. I will cancel your membership and refund you your money. No problem. Like, we have 7 coaches on board that spend hours a day helping you guys. This is not about my wealth or any of that. I was wealthy much before this. Think about Tune 45. If we sold 10,000 power pods, 10,000 beam teams, 10,000 clays, you don't think that's a lot of money already? Think about the barbershops. You don't think 10 barbershops, you think 10 barbershops comes from a mentorship, guys? I started the mentorship 3 years ago. We have 7, 8 locations already. Guys, don't stop regurgitating shit that I get it. There's plenty of scams out there, but don't let yourself miss out on an opportunity here, because I ain't gonna be here forever. All right, just letting y'all know now.
I love it. And one of the things I heard that resonated with me was so well. I seen somebody commented, it was like a tweet or something, and it was like, broke people think everything's a scam. And that is one of the truest things I ever read on Twitter or X or wherever I read it, because it's so true. Broke people think everything's a scam, bro. Everything's a scam. So, and I get it, guys. If you've never done a mentorship, you've never done an online course or class or anything like that, I get the hesitation. I get it, because it's uncomfortable. It's something you've never done before. You don't know how it's going to work. Plus, you see people trolling it all the time. Everybody's got a course. Everybody's a guru. You see the comments online, so it makes you feel hesitant. But, bro, I'm telling, in his situation right now, he's saying he'll give you your money back, right? So you literally have no risk. But even if there was a risk, just take the risk, bro. I can tell you there's been so many classes and courses and mentorships and stuff I've invested in, and every one I've learned something that made it worth it, bro. Yes, there's been some where I've been in where I'm like, I know most of this, but there's always something that I learned that helps take me to the next level. It's always been a return on my investment, bro. And
Marv, this ain't even that type of risk. You got hundreds of people commenting, saying how the mentorship has helped them, how it's changed their lives, and you're letting $99, and some cynical people that haven't done shit for nobody but themselves stop you from just checking it out, just check it out.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, I'll refund you.
And one of the things that I always am inspired by for the people who have purchased my course or any of my classes is I know how hard it can be to do something like that for the first time because it is scary and you don't want to get scammed, right? But what I think is so dope is after they do my course or my class and they see like, yo, this isn't a scam. Yo, I learned a lot. Now it opens their mind up and makes them more willing to invest in the more stuff moving forward, which helps really accelerate their growth. I remember, I don't know if he's still on here, but there's a few people that did my course and then they were asking like, what should I do next? And this was back when Basio first started the 245 mentorship. And I'm like, you got to join Basio's mentorship. And they went and joined the mentorship. And to me, that's like the point of why I do what I do, because I know I can't teach people everything, but I know there are people that can teach them a lot more than me. So if you get comfortable investing into yourself by letting me be the first person you've ever invested into, and you see a success with that, now you're open to investing in a 245 mentorship, investing in some other masterminds, some other courses. I know it's only going to help you accelerate and grow that much more. So I say all that because if you've never done any like courses, classes, or mentorships, I promise you, after you do Basio's, once you join a six-figure barber mentorship, and you see what you're going to learn and you see the growth in your business and you see the growth in your life and you see this community and you see how dope this is, it's going to make you, it's going to get you addicted. You're going to turn into the Basio and the Marv where you start joining all these other classes and courses because you're like, yo, there's just mad information that I can be learning. So I'm just super excited for you guys that are going to bet on yourself and sign up for the mentorship. And I look forward to connecting with y'all in there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is there any last thing you want to say before we let them go, Basio? I know we all want to thank you for your time. Let us know in the chat. Again, drop some fire emojis and gems if you really enjoyed this. Any last words you want to lead them with before we wrap it up?
No, I just think that, support people who are pouring their time and sacrificing to bring value to the industry. And using Marv as an example, you know how amazing Marv already spends a lot of time making sure that he's updated with what's going on with the social media world, making sure that we're informed, making sure that we're producing the best content possible to get the most results possible. It takes a lot of time to learn these things, but not just learn them. He has to stay on top of it because the algorithms, social media is changing all the time. And so if Marv could afford to spend less time in the shop and more time navigating these waters that we don't have time to do, and we can leverage Marv, putting him, like, thank you, Marv, for putting in so much effort, for learning the TikTok. I don't know shit about TikTok. I don't even have a TikTok. I'm gonna go learn from Marv about TikTok. I'm going to leverage, and I want to pay Marv to go do that because I only have so much time. Let me focus on what I'm good at. Then I'm gonna go leverage Marv because I know he's better at me than at doing that research. We're talking about leverage here. We're not talking about people taking advantage of us and like that. We're leveraging people who are dedicating their time and their lives and their time away from their family to master something and then share it with us. Oh no, y'all rather people. You know what it was like when we were coming up? Remember, Marv, the games to be sold, not told.
Yeah,
and not just that, but even then they wouldn't even sell it.
Yeah,
they'd keep it because they'd be afraid to create competition. With the enhancements. Remember when enhancements were starting to come out? Nobody would tell you what their formula was. They didn't want you to, bro.
So secretive.
That's what you guys rather have? Come on, man. That's the last thing I got.
I love it. So here's what I'm going to say to you guys. If you enjoyed this, it's definitely going to be worth a rewatch because I'm sure there's some stuff that you may have missed out on because you got distracted or whatever. I know how it is, right? So this is definitely going to be worth a rewatch. So what I'm going to encourage you guys to do is when you go to your barber shop tomorrow, throw it on the TV for all the other barbers to see. When you go to your suite tomorrow, if it's just you, throw it back up on a TV. Let it rock again. If there's a couple of y'all in there, throw it up on a TV. Let it rock again. And when you do, let us know. Like, that's why I always say, take a screenshot, post it, tag us so we can show you some love because we're always inspired by you guys who are action takers, who like to take in information and who are always trying to level up. And you just never know what can come out of just a simple you taking a screenshot, sharing it, and now we're in your inbox, and who knows what comes of that. You just never know. So take the screenshot, share it to your story, so your followers and friends can see it. And and watch it again. It's worth the rewatch. I'm going to leave it up. It will be up. You can go back and rewatch it. And also rewatch the other one we did. You just got to scroll through my live tab. You'll see the one we did about a year ago. That one was crazy too. Obviously some of the stuff, you know, Basia is doing things a little different nowadays. He switched a few things, but there's so much practical advice and so many principles he shared in that previous one we did. And we went for like 3 hours on that one too. So go watch
Yeah,
that.
we did. Marv, we got to do like a course collab too. I do something in your course, you do something in mine. That'd be fun.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, well, let's talk about it. You know, we got work to do.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you. Basio, hang out for like 5 minutes. I want to chop it up with you when we end the stream.
Let's do it.
Barbers.
Thank y'all.